Woo!
Evening, everyone, and
Hi.
welcome to episode 4 of The Violet Madness. My name is Mark. I'm your DM and your conductor aboard this train of slightly railroaded campaign. But previously on The Violet Madness, our brave adventurers have made it to Femlis, and not without a bit of trouble, however, as they were ambushed at a guard checkpoint taken over by bandits and marauders. They were no match for the party in the end, but Shadar managed to catch Mina up to something. Might be nothing, but there was a strange somatic gesture performed by Mina.
It's totally nothing.
Totally fine. Just a flick of the hand, you know. But just so happened to be while the last bandit was relieved of his head. So I don't know, take from that what you like. But we'll have more on that in just a minute. I'd like to catch you all up on the goings-on in Penny Dragon Games. So, did someone say 200 plus new beasts to be used as party pets, character companions, familiars, encounters, polymorph options, and of course, wild shape shenanigans? What about 12 beast-flavored subclasses? Or 20 new beastly magic items? Get this and more in Bergen's Book of Beasts. Oh, and as well, for backing a physical tier in the first 48 hours, you'll receive a free hardback copy of Firestar Falling, a 100-page adventure that pits players against creatures twisted by a fallen star, so don't miss out. Just 2 days ago, last Friday, you can catch episode 11 of the Saffron Saga on Penny Dragon's Twitch right now or on YouTube tomorrow. The party survived the mines, but at what cost? They're hours behind Asher, and as they approach the airship, they're greeted by one hell of an ambush. And let me tell you, if you missed it, get on it, because that episode was bananas. Between the rogue doing some dope monk shit, moving across boulders, and the heartbreaking loss of a party member who had the most initiative, it was a great session. R.I.P. Torch, you didn't deserve to be tossed down that hole. On Tuesday, we're back with Fellowship of the Fallen with DM1 and the guys. The Fellowship come to blows with a couple of Ankhegs and survived, only to find an Umber Hulk that has taken up residence in the Loggers camp office. Beaten and bloodied at the end of the session, the Umber Hulk grabbed Magnar and is attempting to make its escape underground. Then on Friday, on the 25th, the Churn gang face Alderheart's council and learn a terrible secret. Definitely for sure this time they're going to learn a secret. And finally then on Sunday, DM Ben and the Cloaks of Minehelm will be back on the 27th, and amid the mud and the rain, the party come face to face with the brigands known as the Fearless Fellows. Severely outnumbered, they will have to fight for their lives and the lives of the camp dwellers that the outlaws have terrorized. And as well, just to let everyone know, there's a new mini campaign coming to Penny Dragon Games. Starting in April, join us for a suspenseful and intense investigation. A group of hired adventurers, played by very special guest players, investigate a series of missing persons reports. The players will have the people who have supposedly vanished into thin air have one thing in common: the last place they were seen, an old small shop in the corner of town. So that's coming at you in April. The amazing character art you see here for our players are created by Becca at Quadruple Bacon. You can find her on Instagram, and we all love Becca. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok, and you can check out her work there. She does an awful lot of good stuff. And the background music and ambience is brought to you by Tabletop Audio, and that's all pre-installed on Roll20. And all the maps you see during this adventure and most of the monsters are created by myself. You can find these and more on my Instagram at stiglitz.maps or on Twitter at stiglitz. With all that aside, let's introduce our heroes on this aforementioned train I'm conducting. Firstly, we have Stephen up front shoveling the coals into the engine.
I'm Stephen. I'm playing Sir Tyrion Shadowbane, the human paladin and chosen right hand of Thorm. He's the epitome of a Prince Charming without the actual royalty title, and he enjoys relieving bandits of their heads.
I'm very charmed.
Certainly does. Next up, hogging the drinks cart is Dave.
Hello, I'm Dave, and I play Shadar Vicanis, Grave Domain, Cleric of the Raven Queen. Shadar is a 100-year-old half-elf with long, bright white hair, typically tied into a tight braid. So in human years, he would look about 35 to 45 if it wasn't for that shock of white hair. He's usually dressed for battle in black leathers with a black chain shirt and his trusty mace. And Shadar wears a long scarf wrapped tightly around his neck at all times and has a brusque and irritable manner to him.
Very good. Then sitting comfortably in our first cast cabin is Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy. I play Mina Dumont. There's absolutely nothing special or suspicious about her at all. She's just a half-elven bard. And just, trying to find a horse, and everything else about her is totally, completely normal. And there's nothing really else to say there. So I'll hand it back to you, Mark.
Nonchalant. She may as well be an NPC.
I may as well be an NPC.
Next up, we have Walking the Isles Punching Tickets is Matt.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt. I'm playing the scholarly half-elf wizard Alfric. He's a curious sort of a fellow. He's hoping to solve this mystery of the Violet Madness, and also hoping to hit with a disintegrate spell at some point.
Very good, very good. Lastly then, chilling in economy class and staring out the window is Jonathan.
Hello, I'm playing Christina Morrill, a Stormkeeper Ranger and Circle of Spore Druid. She is still accompanied by her somewhat army of nature bees.
Very good. With all that aside then, we left last week's session with everyone approaching the gates of Femlis. They went through bandit country, and the end of their journey is in sight. But before that, though, we're going to retcon to the night before.
Where absolutely nothing special or suspicious
absolutely
happens.
Nothing special or suspicious happens at all. But before everyone kind of turned in for the night, Mina did mention that she was just going to go about her business for just a couple of minutes or a little while. She didn't specify.
I just need some alone time before camping with all of the civilians again. It was kind of a nightmare. Just gonna take a walk, maybe a couple hours.
Okay. So as you leave the campsite, you kind of venture off a little bit into the woods that's close by, close enough that you can still see the flames from the campfire that's around, but far enough away that the voices of everyone is kind of grown distant. You travel in a little bit more, and as you do, can I ask you to make a perception check, please?
Sure thing. A 15.
You do notice about maybe 5 to 10 minutes into your walk, footsteps behind you, but not heavy footsteps. Well, they're heavy, but not as heavy as any of your human companions. You sense the presence of a hound close by. You with the 15, you've heard these footsteps before. They're undoubtedly the footsteps of Sir Tyrion's companion.
So yeah, Mina's a little probably annoyed at this, and she's gonna turn around, and not knowing that the dog doesn't understand her at all, she's gonna be like, well, you can come out now.
Are the guys after going on mute? I wonder, because that's up to Sir Tyrion.
Yes. I don't know if the hound can communicate with
still
him.
there? Okay.
Yeah, you didn't tell us to take off.
No, it wasn't yet.
Cool.
So Tyrion, however you want to react to that.
Well, he was just sent to keep an eye on her in case she was assaulted. So if she shoos him away, he'll revert to a further distance, but he's not gonna completely leave her alone.
I'm happy to roll Arcana. Do I have any sort of knowledge of how far this hound can be from Sir Tyrion?
I would ask for an Arcana check on that, actually, because it's a different kind of area of magic, I suppose.
So before I roll this, she is really intending to walk almost like an hour before doing anything. But I don't know how far this hound can go, but giving it a think, I'm not really sure. It's kind of annoying, kind of suspicious. But Mina's going to just keep walking.
Okay, Sir Tyrion, how much of a distance is your steed going to, roughly?
Well, let's say 60 feet. Just, he just wants to stay
Oh.
close enough that if something happens, he can get in there and assist.
Okay. Alrighty then. At this point, I will ask everyone but Mina to relieve themselves of the headphones and chat. For whatever happens here, please feel free to still, react and contribute, but no spoilers for the players, please.
Yeah, no spoilers for us. Also, Mark, you might move your
No
mic a little
spoilers.
closer.
Can do. Alrighty.
So is everyone off?
Everyone is off.
At this point, Mina is going to shapeshift into a giant Tarask so that she can attack the party. Okay, they're actually off now. But yes, chat. So feel free to just throw random emojis and random things in the chat.
That would be
Don't
hilarious.
actually let them know. Like something like, oh my God, Tyrion's gonna freak out, or oh, and I thought Christina was funny. Anything like that, just nothing actually related to what we're doing. And I'm gonna make some wild hand gestures just to throw them off because I know that they're listening. And so, I'm gonna pretend like something's really big and happening here, and I'm out running the dog there. But yes, so my thought is, within an hour or so, I can get miles away from camp, and I am really intending to, because I can't have anyone knowing what I'm doing. So, on a clear night without any light pollution, you can see a light for like 8 miles. So, assuming somewhere between 4 and 6 miles potentially. So if Fido can see this, then Fido can see it. But I'm hoping that, he can't really go that far. I just don't know.
Let me just double check. There doesn't. It will not. Yeah, it'll disappear. It's only allowed 1 mile. So you notice after 1 mile.
I don't know that, but
yeah, but you do notice after a mile that it just disappears.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not really going to trust this. I'm not a super trusting person. So yeah, Mina's going to keep walking and keep traveling. And as she does, she kind of, her very dainty gait and her very, kind of even the way she holds herself, just very flowery, kind of changes just a littlest bit. There's more purpose to her march. And then, a couple miles out, she's going to kind of lift her hand up, and she's kind of feeling the shadow of the dead bandit that I stole, and it's just kind of crawling over my skin. It's itching. It wants to get out, and Mina's going to kind of let out a laugh, and it's an electric feeling. It's like the first hit of caffeine after not being able to sleep, or what I imagine drugs are like when you're just desperate for a hit. And she's just going to kind of let that feeling take her over, and she's going to say, "Oh, you've been restless all day. Don't you know you aren't going anywhere? You're mine now." And she's going to release her magic. And once again, her strides are going to change. They're going to grow longer and heavier as she puts his shadow on. And, even her breathing becomes heavier because of the way that the bandit used to breathe. And instead of Mina there, for anyone who would be looking, it is that soldier that Tyrion killed. And she's going to go, that's it. So tell me, who are you? And what were you doing out there? And at this point, she's going to try and access his memories.
Yeah, and a flood of just different, just all at once, just pictures, images just flash through your mind. And you're just almost taken aback. Your eyes kind of roll up in your head a bit as just information floods your mind. You get a name, you get an age, you get a brief family history, you get addresses, you get friends, you get family, you get a whole bunch of information. I suppose unless you ask otherwise, the key information I suppose you get. So I believe he gave his name in last week's session. That was a lie. That was not his name. His name is Danilo. And
Okay.
Danilo, yeah. And he is not from nearby. He is from the neighboring nation from Castonia, Nabroya, a town called Cathorma. And it is kind of known for, being a dusty old kind of gambling town. A lot of kind of shady parts to it. A lot of kind of bandits and thieves kind of come out of that place. And he made his way north into Castonia, where he joined this band of marauders to kind of get more coin, find his fortune. It was adventuring at first, but it turned to banditry. Go ahead.
Mina will smirk with this guy's face, and in his voice, she's just gonna, "Ooh, naughty boy, lying. I've got all your secrets now."
Yeah, and there's more. Like he makes his way north. You see just this, like, in a flood of just different images and pictures, the timeline of his life, making his way north. And maybe his intentions were good at first, but there was that bit of darkness in him that kind of turned his life to crime quite quickly. Took advantage of this plague where he and his band of merry men, I suppose, ambushed the town guard that had held a checkpoint, and they knew that the town guard were at their limits. They were stretched for resources. And, you remember when he was begging for his life, that he's this isn't him. He was just the times bullshit. He had darkness in his heart. He was a murderer, basically. He was in it only half for the gold. It was half for the thrills as well. But look where that got him. He knows nothing of any. I'm just seeing you in my mind, kind of just you accessing his memories. He knows nothing about the group of bandits that took your horse, or your horse's whereabouts. I would presume you're looking for that information, but that's.
Yes, it's not Mina's core focus at this time. She's kind of more sitting in the darkness, just kind of like, oh, there we go, and just kind of saying, that another shadow to add to my collection. And you're a dark one. She's just very kind of sitting in the darkness. She's walking in his stride. She's walking in his skin. She's breathing the way that she's breathing, and just kind of fully embodying being this other person in this kind of privacy that she assumes that she has. And at some point when, I assume that she's gotten all the information that she thinks that she's going to get, she's just gonna release the shadow. Her strides are gonna return to her strides, her breathing's gonna return to her breathing, her hair is gonna fall over her shoulders again, and she's just gonna shake out her body, crack her neck from side to side, and then start the walk back to the rest of camp. But, kind of armed with this new information, she's probably not going to share any of it, but she has it.
Cool. Perfect.
She's, just a collection of memories to add to her collection of memories.
All righty. I think at this point then we'll welcome back the rest of the crew. So headphones back on, guys. Move my microphone.
Is that the universal sign for put your headphones back on?
It was.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Do I sound a little louder now? Because my mic was kind of far away, I think.
I think so, yeah. You can move it a little bit closer, I'd say.
Okay, I think I just need to turn up the
We
volume.
good?
I think we're good.
It's just
Now I get to read all the comments because I was purposefully not reading them so they wouldn't throw me off.
Yeah.
Stretch Armstrong, okay?
It's some mad shit.
I love it.
Yeah, maybe you'll find out in time.
Maybe.
So Mina, you guys, so actually Tyrion, after about a mile, Mina keeps walking and Fido that's his limit. He can't go any further than that, so you lose her.
No, he can.
No?
We just can't telepathically communicate after a mile.
Ah, so how far can he go?
Or as he wants, I just can't talk to him outside a mile.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
That's different.
Oh, that's
then.
fun.
I misread the spell. Okay.
Well, no, maybe I misread it. That's what I thought it said.
No, I probably did. No worries there. We'll resolve that there shortly enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say because things would have been different if the dog was still following.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Like, you know.
Yeah, we'll touch back on that anyway afterwards.
Excellent.
We will, unless there was anything you guys wanted to add that night after Mina comes back, we can skip straight to the following morning.
I think we.
She's in a good mood when she comes back. Like, you know, her head is cleared and she really needed that. And
Bees are everywhere.
They always are. Alrighty. So the following day, then, as you said, we reached Femlis, and as I said last week, you know, you kind of see it over the brow of this hill. You just see the village. It's kind of like mostly on an even bit of land, but kind of the south, kind of eastern part of the village is kind of on this slope. But the wooden walls surround the entire little village. And as you approach the gate, you are greeted by 2 guards. Let me change you guys over there. You should be at the very bottom of the map.
Hey.
So you approach the gate. You are greeted by a dwarf and a human. And they say, they put up a hand and say, halt, travelers. Come from the Grendel Road, do you not? What, where have you been? What have you seen? Grendel? Hardly. They haven't come from Grendel. What are you doing on this road?
My friend, it is the Grendel Road.
do you want to take this? Mina's gonna ask the Duke. They'll probably listen to you. And they don't have to.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Thanks.
If anyone has authority here, it's the Duke.
We should have
Absolutely.
the authority.
Yeah, so like he was kind of behind you guys, and I take it like you guys just kind of part ways and let the Duke kind of come up the center, and like you see the dwarf, his eyes just go as if he's like seen a ghost, which in his mind he probably has. He goes, "My God, it's the Duke is alive. Why, my lord, where have you been?" And yeah, he'll respond. He'll kind of relay everything you guys have been through these last few days, and you know the state of affairs in Grendel, the state of affairs with the town guard, and the resources, and everything that's happened up until now.
Mina will lean towards someone who's next to her, whether that's Alfric or Shadar or Tyrion or Christina, and just be like, "Wasn't the Grendel obvious? We're on the road from Grendel."
This is my point.
They're just not used to seeing people come from this road. That they're kind
I
of.
don't suppose many people have come this way of late.
So like I mean, after Duke Fenwell kind of relays pretty much all the information that he knows, not necessarily everything you guys know, they kind of fill you guys in on the goings on. They tell you about how, you know, maybe a week or two after the plague hit, you know, they got people from Grendel kind of flooding their streets, and infection is still rampant. There is a quarantined area of Femlis, as you can see on the map there to the west.
Oh dear.
Yeah, where they have quarantined any infected people there. Everyone else on the other side of town has been cleared. They are okay, so they kind of keep those two areas kind of separate. The 2 guards talk to each other and say, well, what's the protocol here? This is the Duke we're talking about. We can't just send them to the quarantine area." It's like, yes, but I think the doc should definitely check them out for sure, at least just to be safe. My lord, would you be objective to this? So they are going to direct you to the quarantine area, to the clinic, where they say that the apothecary, or you know, the doc as they call him, is tending to the sick.
Well, perhaps we can learn a bit more about the condition from this fellow. I'm sure he's had plenty of experience with it.
We
Sorry.
do have the sample that I gave you, Ulfric.
Very true. Very true. Yes, I think we'd better go and see him and see what he has to say.
Shadar will turn to one of them and say, "My friend, what are the rules of this quarantine area? If one enters, is one allowed to leave?"
Yes, usually when we get travelers in, they're sent straight to the clinic where the doc will assess them, and if they're clear of the infection, well, they're free to leave the quarantine area and roam around the rest of the town.
Very well. Tell me, where in town sells the best wine?
Oh, yes, well, you'd be thinking of going to the Cracked Goblet Tavern then.
I certainly will.
And a big shout out to username Realistic Effort for giving the tavern name the Cracked Goblet Tavern.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so the guard will tell you the directions to the clinic. Normally you would be escorted, but the Duke is in your midst. They are basically his employees, so he is going to leave it at your behest to go straight to the clinic, but they are not going to stop you if you choose to do otherwise.
Should be okay. Oh,
Suppose we should go then.
well.
I think out of sheer curiosity alone, Alfric will want to make for that area right away.
Very well.
My good sirs, are there
One of them is
stables
female,
nearby?
actually. The human is...
Oh.
But not that really matters.
I mean, in the army, they're still sirs, so I don't know how it works in
yeah.
Femlis.
So, sorry, you were asking about the stables.
Yes. Are there any stables where one could procure or stable a horse?
Indeed, there is. Yes, the Femlis stables is to the northeast entrance or exit from to the town, the Crudestone Valley Road.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is
very
Mina.
much.
Maybe you could buy a new horse there.
Yes, Alfred, I suppose I could.
I'm sure it would be just as good.
Of course not.
Well, I suppose while Christina's still at the gate, while everyone's talking, she's going to go towards the little girl and mention that perhaps your parents are here.
She'll say, I really hope so. And Scraps, you'll come too, right? And the Warforged, kind of holding her hand, is going to say, yes. Let's go in and find the rest of your family. Big shout out to Ryan. Thanks for the bless. Gonna need it.
Hey.
Yeah. So you're
Most of us now that's been blessed. Right? Because I think Shadar got some,
Everyone
Tyrion
does one,
got
yeah.
some.
Christina got one. I don't think Mina and Ulfric has so far.
No, I forgot.
Elf, yeah, you
Okay.
got one there.
So
like.
Mina has yet.
Very much obliged.
I thought everybody had one, no?
I don't have one.
whoever doesn't have bless, then you will have my permission to die.
So, like,
Well, my friend, should we skirt the outskirts of town, as it were, and enter the other gate closer to the quarantine areas, or shall we saunter straight through the center of town?
Mina's just going to let all of her bees go right now. This massive swarm of bees. Just go get pollen and stuff.
I am not the BBEG.
So, Christina, are you kind of moving away from the gate, or kind of just? Kinda...
Christina's going to head to the quarantine zone, but her bees are just going to go out. And massive bees.
Cool.
Well, not really massive swarms of bees.
Not having it with chat today.
It's because you're so obviously up to no good.
Obviously.
Neighborhood.
They know.
Very well.
They
They're not
know.
giving her bliss because of what they all heard that you didn't.
Shadar will just start walking through town.
Okay. Yeah. So Shadar, as you walk down the street, you can't help but hear a heated argument just at the house just before the heavy hammer there. You
Right
turn
here?
your head. Yeah, just there. You turn your head to open the door, or to open the door. You turn your head and to just at the door, You see two women, and they're yelling at each other. One on the inside of the house over the jamb of the door, and there's a small girl just kind of hiding behind her legs, kind of looking up at the other woman, kind of yelling back at her. And the other woman then that's standing outside has a little boy by her side, and there's a kind of bandage around his head and over his left eye as well.
Ah, children.
And, yeah, you can't help but overhear this back and forth. You hear the woman outside saying, "That little witch has done it again. First the Fernan's girl, and then Yenri's boy, and now she's nearly gone and killed my son." And the woman replies, it was just an accident. She would never do anything like this on purpose. Please, just leave us be. Rubbish. She's an evil little girl. We all know what she gets up to in the evening, trying to play that Annie Aberthail game in the yard of rest. If she wants to play with ghosts, let her. Don't go dragging our good children into that. Come on, Stefan. I don't want you anywhere near this family anymore. And she kind of just grabs her son by the arm and just kind of drags him along. The other woman just looks distraught with worry, kind of ushering her little girl back into the house.
So they're all gone.
So,
the woman is still kind of like at the house, but the woman with the boy is after heading up.
How did the girl? I'm happy to roll perception. Was she? Did she look guilty? Did she look like she felt bad? Did she kind of look like she enjoyed it?
No, she was kind of half hidden behind her mother's skirt, like just peering out with just a pair of eyes, like as if she was scared.
Okay.
I'll turn to the mother and say, "I couldn't help but overhear, my dear, mention of ghosts."
Oh, well.
And I'll kind of pull my scarf aside a little bit and display the holy symbol of the Raven Queen.
Okay. Yeah, she'll say, "It's just a silly game the children are playing. There's no such thing as ghosts."
I'll kneel down to the child.
"Come here, little one."
Roll a persuasion check.
I am so concerned.
All right, Christina's in the back too.
I am so concerned for this poor child.
It's a 9.
Yeah, she is. Nope, not going near you.
He is a bit
Smart
scary.
decision.
Can I try and intimidate the mother?
Oh
Jesus.
How are you intimidating the mother?
I will stand up and I'll say,
"I hear talk of ghosts. If I were you, I would persuade the whelp to speak to me, lest the full might of the Raven Queen descend on your doorstep."
Are you threatening a child?
Glad we're
Threatening
getting
her
along with the
mother.
locals.
Roll intimidation. She's going to roll insight to that.
"Oh, for fuck's sake."
I imagine Mina interrupts you as you're trying to do the threatening. Just like, are you threatening a child? Shut up.
"I'm threatening her mother.
Why?
I hear talk of ghosts.
Are you scared of ghosts?
My duty is to hunt them down and destroy them. If there are ghosts in this town, I will find them. This child will tell me where they are."
The mother, who has had just about enough of people badgering her at her doorstep, and say, "Can people not just leave us be? It's just a silly game the children are playing. This Annie Aberthail game. If we're so curious, why don't you bother the Aberthails?"
"Where are they?"
She'll as she turns her back to you, she'll say, "Or what's left of them," and kind of toss her hand up towards, like, the north direction of it's up at the top corner there. So she'll tell you to go bother what's left of the Aberthails.
I have my eye on you.
She'll slam the door shut behind her.
So we're making friends.
So this is nice.
While the party is walking away from the gate, Tyrion will turn to the guards and say, "You mentioned this road is very rarely traveled. Have you seen someone in a blue cloak travel recently? It would have been in the last day or so."
Let me see if they have. Well, I can't say that we have. They're rotating shifts, of course. Maybe if you're looking for someone in particular, the guards' barracks might be a good place to check. Well, we don't have any warrants out or missing persons report. Well, we do have some missing persons report, but people from the town of Grendel, and well, we can only speculate as to what their condition is. But if it's anyone in particular you're looking for, maybe consult with some of the guards who are maybe currently off duty or who may have seen them whilst they were on duty.
Yes, I had intentions to visit the barracks as well. I may bring this business to them.
Very well. Well, they'll certainly help in your inquiries as best they can.
So while we are moving through the town, Mina is keeping an eye out for anyone with the crescent earring, anyone with a red bandana, just kind of fitting the bandit description that Tomas gave us.
The guard presence in Femlis is quite. It's not like I wouldn't say there's a guard like on every corner of the street or anything, but excuse me. There's a very visible presence of the town guard here. Even though they're stretched, they're not compromising the town's defenses by the looks of it. But no, that I suppose suffices to say that anyone involved in bandits or marauders groups are nowhere to be seen on the street.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not during the day.
While Christina's walking, she is going to be looking for see if there's any flowers, like for sale, like a florist.
Sale. No florist in particular, but you could probably you do pass when you reach the center of the village here. You do see a little wooden sign outside this place saying Craig's General Goods. Might be able to get some stuff in there.
Understood. Thank you.
Cool.
I suppose just beeline.
Let's step into the tavern.
Ooh, okay. I will jump to another map for that.
Oh.
Yeah, I suppose for the sake of party stuff.
Sure.
I'll be there too. Alfric, you coming?
Well, very well, I suppose. I suppose a moment's rest won't hurt.
Here's the main entrance. Did I go in the main entrance?
It's been an eventful few days.
You did.
It has, hasn't it? Now, I was interested in that spell you cast, the one with all the green. Shadar seems to think it was very scary, but what does it do?
Well, that is the technical term is disintegration.
Ooh, that is a scary name.
That's exactly
It
what it says.
reduces the target in most cases to naught but a pile of ash.
So did it not work? Were you nervous?
Well, he actually dodged out of the way.
I didn't see the whole thing. I just kind of saw you and.
If it's all the same, it's a trifle embarrassing.
Oh, no worries.
As you guys walk in the front, you see someone just kind of sitting at a little table, a little table at the front. She welcomes you in. She says, hail, are you visitors to Femlis? I have not seen you before.
Yes, we have come from the plague-infected town of Grendel.
She's like not gonna like react to that. She'll just like stone face look at you and say, "That's a joke. It's not in good flavor, my friend."
What he means to say is that we have come from out of town and we're weary. I mean, you see the look of him, quite bookish. He's just trying to work on his sense of humor.
Yes, well, I apologize if I didn't see the humor in your joke.
To be fair, there wasn't much humor in the joke. We're working on it.
Well, we're just a little bit run off our feet these days. What with the keepers of the inn succumbing to the violet madness, she says in a hushed voice.
That's what I called it.
And they
That's a good name.
Yeah,
I thought so.
So
I haven't actually seen any of this before. What happens when they like succumb to the madness?
Mina, we know that. We saw plenty of them.
I'm gonna elbow him like really hard, just trying to discreetly like.
Yeah, like I mean, she'll say, well, it's this very very sickly disease. It you must be from very afar if you have not seen anyone with displaying symptoms. But first, it starts off.
Oh, I'm all the way from Aston. Would you believe?
Oh, my dear, you must be quite weary indeed.
I am.
Well, yes, this treacherous illness, it takes the lungs from what I'm aware. Anyone who doesn't survive, or anyone who doesn't completely perish from this plague, they lose their minds. They become mad and hostile and vicious. And
Yes, we actually had to beat one to death.
I'm just.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's like wide-eyed.
Like, it's not funny when you say things like that.
On your travels, have you met a poor soul that has not had the benefits of a treatment from a cleric or a medicine man?
Does it heal them? Treatment from a cleric. Is it a curse?
I have not known of anyone who has recovered from infection, but the doc is doing everything he can over in the clinic. We just hope that someday soon he will find a way to beat this nasty plague. Everyone's very much afraid to leave the town walls, even go anywhere near the quarantine zone.
Well, where is it? I'll be sure to stay away from it.
Yeah, she'll kind of point in the general direction of where it is, and she's like, have you not had to go there to be checked upon coming into the village?
Oh, we didn't have to because we came with the Duke.
Again, she's like, Duke Galbarus Fenwell, the second?
No, his father.
But the Duke is. He'll look to Mina as if and shrug, as like, is this another joke?
That one's not a joke. He's alive and well. You heard it from us first.
She's just gonna. Please, yes, no, make yourselves comfortable inside the tavern. If you need lodgings, we're acting as an inn also. If you need to lie down and rest, which I would suggest maybe you should, please.
What I really need right now is some wine. So, which are the best bottles here?
Well, we have some nice red wine. Although, actually, we have a bottle from the vineyards just outside Aston in our midst. If you go in and talk to our barkeep, he will be happy to oblige.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to grab Alfric either by the elbow or the hand.
Yes,
and just
thank you for your help.
Okay, thanks, bud.
Well, that's going on. Shadar
I don't
walks straight
understand. Why were you lying to that nice lady?
Well, people always give you more information if they're not scared of dying when they talk to you.
Our
It's like a
fear
thing.
is, I suppose. Yes, I suppose you might have a point.
And people love giving information and they love to be right. So like if you want someone to tell you something, often if you say something wrong, they'll just jump in to correct you. And then you got the information that you're looking for. Or in this case, if you just act like you don't know anything, they're happy to seem smart and tell you things.
But I'm very rarely wrong about anything.
Sure you are.
Your aim.
Who said that?
Oh. Shots fired.
Shots
Shots
fired,
dodged.
but not hit.
Yeah.
I imagine we're going straight to the bar. Just
Yeah.
While they're chatting to her, Shadar would have walked straight inside the bar.
Yeah, and Carrick says Shadar has a case of sick of people's shit, which is why he did that, I'm sure.
Oh, sure does.
Yeah, so you enter the tavern. Nice, look, it's not it's a small little area. Not kind of a place fit for like a corner for a bar to be playing. It's just a small little cozy tavern. But all the same, you see the tavern keeper on the bar. He's a dragonborn, looks kind of elderly. You can see kind of his green scales starting to gray a little bit, and he's mumbling to himself as he polishes a tankard. And then sitting on the far end in the corner on the table, you see a youngish looking dwarf, and he's playing dragon chess by himself. But Shadar, with your passive perception of Superman, you can tell just at the glance at the dragon chess set that all of the pieces are made of stone, bar one. The paladin piece is brass. You sit down at the counter, and the tavern keeper almost snaps out of a daydream and looks at yourself and Tyrion and says,
Tyrion should go talk to him, though. You guys are kindred spirits in mismatched sets.
Shadar will just sit down on the stool and just really take the weight off.
Greetings, my friend.
Greetings to you, humble folk. What can I get for you today?
I seek wine, and plenty of it.
Very well. Would you like a commoner's wine or a fine bottle?
Do I look like a commoner to you?
He'll look you up and down and shrug and say, fine.
And I'll, like, my holy symbol is clearly on display.
Okay. He'll look at it, kind of look at the holy symbol up at you, back down on it, and he'll go. As he turns his back, you hear him say something like really, really quietly, like just with a sigh. I know.
Yeah.
But you can make out a couple of words.
Okay.
And you hear him say just the words, him, and the old mill, he says under his breath. And he comes back and puts the bottle of wine on the table. Is that going to be one glass or two?
I'm here for the bottle and 2 more.
Very well.
What's the damage?
It's 11 gold pieces per bottle.
I'll take 3.
Okay. He'll kind of give you a kind of a curt nod. He'll turn back and put 2 more on the table and say, a man who likes his wine. Very
well. Can you give me some hemp cloth or something? Leave to go in my backpack for later. Do not wish to see them smashed and ruined.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Heads of my enemies.
He'll grunt and, like, with a bit of effort, like, he'll just go and just stoop down below the bar counter and pull up a couple of I suppose like not pristinely clean cloths, but they're just, you can see stains on them and stuff.
Yeah,
there you go. Won't charge you a penny for those.
I wouldn't pay a penny either. Thank you, my friend.
So he'll wrap them up, and I'll just say,
2 glasses of the same for me and my brother of the light here.
Yeah, he'll oblige. And yeah, like, I mean, I suppose for 2 glasses, let's just call it 4 gold. And he'll pop another bottle, pour out 2 glasses, and hand them to you guys.
very well.
Well, my friend, I have this one.
Well, that's quite kind of you, Shadar, but sir, I did not catch your name. As he looks at the Dragonborn.
Yeah, you can call me Gargainth.
Gargain, pleasure to meet you. Well, like my great uncle Nod used to say, wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. So, like my friend here, I would also like to partake in a bottle to leave your residence with. Not quite as flush with gold as my friend, so the finest bottle I can acquire for 25 pieces or less.
Yeah, like, I mean, the finest bottle of whiskey he will have in his repertoire would be 10 gold. And it's a nice bottle. It's one of those bigger ones you'd see in the optics and bars, like a 3-liter job.
Yeah. You graciously give him 10 gold pieces.
You boys must have either had a very long journey or seen some shit if you're planning on getting as drunk as you guys are.
Well,
The answer to that is yes.
some is for ceremony, some is for drinking. Some of us have stared into the eyes of the beyond. They'll neck the wine and get up off the stool. Right, I believe we were supposed to visit the clinic, Shadar.
Very well. Indeed we were.
Um,
Actually, what, Gargane, is it?
Garganth.
Gargant. My friend, have you got a to-go cup?
Mm-hmm.
Walk me down.
Yeah. He'll
I'll take one more for the road, my friend.
yeah, he'll
Satirian, what about you?
I'm not much of a wine drinker. One is enough for me.
Very well.
he'll pass you just a little kind of crunkly old wooden tankard.
Yeah, Connor, what's that, another 4?
Yeah,
Fucking, do you know what? It's pricey, but it's worth it.
it's the good stuff.
I've like depleted half my gold at this stage. Shadar will be a happy man.
Before
At
you
this
guys,
point-
sorry. No, go ahead if you want to do something else.
I was just assuming we'd meet up with them probably at this point, like me
Okay.
dragging Alfred along. Just
Cool. Well, before you guys meet
been there at all.
yeah, I was just gonna say before you guys meet in the corridor, what's Christina up to outside?
Stina spotted a few flowers off on the side. And is going to go look at them.
Okay.
so very
anything-
druid.
Anything? Yeah. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Just seeing if I've seen these flowers before, if they're unique.
Not gonna make you roll anything. These are common flowers. You've seen all of them before. They grow all over Christonia.
Do I see my bees anywhere pollinating and whatnot?
Yeah, they're busy bees. They're getting their fill. You've passed a few of them already on your way to the tavern, and they're getting their honey's worth.
You know, I suppose I could ask her if I hear anything.
I was kind of hoping for a laughter. I was like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
It just took me seconds. Sorry.
We're back on the bees. Next
I
episode
was
is horses
I was
again.
silently having a moment. I just didn't want to interrupt.
But no, Christina's just going to observe the flowers and everything.
Cool. Okay. So, oh, come on, Ryan. Don't take my bless back for that. So yeah, you guys meet roughly around the hallway area. I don't know if Mina and Ilfric wanted to wet the old beak, but up to you guys.
Yeah, I imagine I did say I was dragging you along, so I imagine I'm dragging you along to the bar, and then I see the two of them coming back, and it's like, already?
Oh, hello, friends.
I just got a to-go cup.
And a bottle.
It's nice.
How's the line?
Ceremonial.
Try some.
Oh, and she'll try some, hand it back, and go, oh, yes, sir. Can I get a bottle of whatever is in his cup?
Gargant is getting. He's just gonna close up shop after
He's going to close early, yeah.
It's not my friend.
Town is in quarantine. That booze was for the whole town for a week.
Mina, you have definitely tasted this wine before. It's familiar to you. But yeah, 11 gold from you if you wish to procure a bottle for yourself.
Oh, yes, this is one of my absolute favorites. They grow it near where I'm from.
Really?
Grapes, you mean, not the bottles.
No, bottles don't grow, Tyrion. Those are
Well,
made.
then indeed. Once I meet the Raven
I have
Queen,
seen
that
some
is my
strange
dearest
things
wish.
with Mina.
It's my idea of paradise. Past
Wine?
the gates of the Raven Queen, where bottles of wine grow from the earth.
Is that part of her tenants that bottles of wine grow?
No, the Raven Queen is the one who guards the gates between life and death. And then one must go and face judgment elsewhere. She is but a gatekeeper.
Oh, yeah, yes, thank you for the wine. And Mina will hand over the 11 pieces without kind of thinking about it.
Yep. You guys heading out then?
Yeah, let's head to that quarantine zone.
If I don't
should have been so long ago.
Are you guys hidden?
Where's Christina? Was she not with you?
Yeah, she is there.
Yeah, once you
just-
step outside the door.
Woo. You see her coming back from the side.
Half elf on the shelf says or the crate keeper instead of the gatekeeper. So are you guys going straight to the clinic?
Yes.
Okay, I'll
I
just
suppose we'd better.
rather than drag you onto the town map, I'll drag you to the clinic map.
By the way, where are the rest of her people?
They went ahead.
Oh, shit.
So you approach the clinic in the quarantine area. As you can see through the windows here, you can already see just kind of makeshift kind of cots, just like they're bedrolls on the floor, and you just see people like, you know, just kind of just writhing on the bed, or just some completely still, some like just looking in the windows, you can see that there are some people suffering inside.
The situation appears to be quite desperate here.
And a question that is no way trying to cement me as the BBG. Is anyone dying in there?
Oh.
Riders on the storm drinking.
Nice.
Looking through the window, from what you can see, no one, like from what you can tell, no one is dead or dying per se. Like you're too far away to tell, but there are people in there clearly in pain and suffering.
Yes. All right. Well, Mina's definitely going to hesitate. Like, do we have to?
Is there anyone at the door, or is it just like...
It's just closed. No one's kind of...
Christina's going to go try the door.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay, Christina's going in then.
Shadar will turn to Satyrian first and pull out one of those rags that he has around. Well, he's a bunch of rags in his bag, and he'll just ask Satyrian,
My friend, any chance of some whiskey on this?
Well, it's got to use this,
I know
any.
it's a terrible waste, my friend, but needs must.
He'll pour out a dash on the cloth.
and he'll just kind of soak it in, and he'll tie it around his nose and mouth.
I think we should stay out here. Just get him to come out here.
Tina's already on in.
Yeah, so Christina, when you enter, it's a pretty grisly scene. You see a whole bunch of people on these like little bedrolls. Like this wasn't a clinic before it's been denoted as a clinic. This was something like a town hall or something like that is turned into a makeshift clinic. You see people just kind of
Alfred, okay.
Kind of
Yes, I'm going in.
wailing, kind of, crying in pain. Others just completely still but breathing. Although their breathing is kind of just husky, kind of like this. And around you, you can see various kind of, tools. You see a couple of medical tools, like bandages, kind of medical scissors, scalpels, things like that. And you also see like a book here with scribbles in it. Other kind of medical tools over here, and you just see kind of buckets of water with sponges kind of just bobbing up and down in the water. And as you kind of get halfway up, you see someone turn the corner up above and come down the hallway. And he approaches you, Christina, and says, are you new in town? Did the guards send you here to the quarantine zone?
Yes.
See, well, I better take a look at you. Best to not get too close to the patients, though they're not infectious. They're not at that stage yet. It's always good to just keep your distance a small bit. And he'll come up and have a look at you.
Frick bottle, by the way.
And sorry, what?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Say, well, let me take a look at you. Could you remove the mask, please?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, okay, but I'll need to. Oh, yes. Hello there, young man. Well, not young man, I suppose.
You're very kind. I take it you're the apothecary.
Indeed, I am. Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you, my good fellow. My name is Alfric.
Yes, Dr. Albrecht. Albrecht. Pleasure to meet you,
Dr. Albrecht.
We have a sample.
We have come from Grendel itself.
From Grendel?
Yes. We were there when this outbreak first began.
The epicenter. Yes. You were inside the walls.
Oh, yes.
93 days ago, from what we've been told.
Yeah, I would probably briefly summarize the
events,
the circumstances to him.
And yeah, he's like almost like up in your face, just kind of like nodding and listening to every word you say. I was like, this is a potential breakthrough. This is amazing.
Well, you see, I was hoping you would say that. So I'm a man of intellectual curiosity as well, and we've gone so far as to collect some samples from the epicenter. I was unable to deduce anything with the limited time and equipment I had to me available. But perhaps you can do better.
Yeah, and he kind of just like claps his hands together and like grabs you by both shoulders, and not like aggressively, but he's just like, young man, you've brought samples from the epicenter. No one was able to gain access to Grendel. This could potentially, we could find a cure. You could have saved us all. Oh. And he'll say, please, I must look at the sample. I must look at, you said you were in Grendel for 93 days, or well, longer now, but over 90 days.
It seems to be so.
There could be something about you that could help. Please, along with the sample you're providing, may I examine you also?
I'd be pleased to offer any help that I can. And by all means, take this sample as well. I'll hand over that.
Yeah, and he'll take it and he'll very carefully just place it.
But perhaps there is something you could do for me.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to do whatever I can.
I uncovered a potion of unknown provenance when I was in Grendel. I've been unable to identify it.
Well, I'm mostly equipped with the knowledge of medicine, but I can definitely give it a try. If you leave it with me, I can maybe have an answer for you by tomorrow, yay or nay.
It's worth a try. And I'll hand him the potion that I found in Grendel as well.
Christina's going to look at the notes while they're talking.
Yeah, roll a medicine check.
The one thing she is very proficient at. I have a +9 to medicine.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. The 16, you understand most of the medical jargon written in this, enough to understand basically. But there are some words that you kind of, I suppose, given your time spent, alone, you kind of have your own understanding of things, but it all makes sense to you. And it's notes on how this infection affects others. Thanks, Carrick, for the bless. And it's
don't use it to kill the horse.
It's already dead.
You can don't need bless to do that, but you can make out most of the medical terms in here, and you're enough to understand what's going on. So while Dr. Albrecht and Alfric are kind of having this back and forth, you're reading the notes, and it kind of talks about how the infection affects other people. There seems to be no discrimination between, dwarves, humans, elves, half-elves. This thing seems to affect everyone. And there's also some notes in here that, some people of the cloth, holy people, have been in the clinic, succumbed to this disease. It doesn't seem to discriminate any resistance on that level either. You can take from that there's notes on it being I suppose, source of arcane properties with the disease, that it's magical in nature. Although he's unable to discern what that is. And let me see. You also see that, again, there's no pattern in whether the infection either kills you or drives you insane. It either does one or the other. Those who have been unfortunate enough to die from this affliction, they have been burned before the infection could take them over and reanimate them. But those who are driven to madness don't turn to those hostile creatures you saw in Grendel. Dr. Albrecht has noted that they just go insane, but they do still have mushroom-like growths on their body. They spout words that are lost on him. He doesn't understand. They are speaking some sort of tongue, but it's not anything he knew or he knows or anyone around Femlis knows, because he's documented pretty much almost everything he's witnessed so far. And yeah, that's pretty much the bones of the documentation he's made.
Well, Christina is going to pick up the journal and turn to the doctor. We can give a bit more of insight of what we have seen at Ground Zero.
Please, I'd be happy to hear it.
And I suppose we can... Where do you want us to discuss this? I suppose it wouldn't be good in front of the other
Say that again, sorry?
It wouldn't be good for us to discuss in front of the other patients.
Ah, well,
True.
Follow me to the room up here. And let me just...
So, are you boys planning to go inside? Because I'm just thinking we haven't been infected, and I don't want to go around people who have been infected, because that's a surefire way to get infected.
I trust Christina to gather the necessary information. In the meantime,
I pull out the bottle of wine and go,
this is from your country.
Well, from my part of the country, not a
Yes.
separate country.
Wine country was the joke, my friend.
Sorry.
But anyway. Yes, I believe I'll wait here on the steps. Unless I'm required elsewhere.
Very well.
No, I'm happy to wait out here, Sir Tyrion.
Shadar will refill his cup.
Well, I'm sure if they've gone in and found someone who needs to talk to us, they can inform them that there are more of us out here.
Indeed.
Oh, well, we are going. I'm going to ask if they saw any of the people that we brought with us.
Pardon?
Like the little girl, the robot, the one who got the mushroom in the face.
I'm going to assume that they're outside with the guys. I just don't have their tokens there.
Okay.
But if you want to have them brought in and be assessed, that's, yeah.
They definitely should.
Yeah, okay. So I'll assume that they're going to be in this room with you guys that he's leading you to. He's going to get to the top of this hall and he'll say, please follow me here to the room inside here. And he'll just
Certainly.
sit on this chair. And Alfric, as you pass by, you kind of peep in this door here and you see a sort of a makeshift kind of laboratory. You can see some tables there and you see it. This is just out the corner of your eye as you pass, but it's the door's wide open. It's not like a secret or anything, but you just see that there are some more seriously ill looking bodies, let's say, in this room.
Dreadful. Dreadfully sad.
So the doctor takes a seat and gestures for you to sit down and says, well, please, tell me what you know.
Well, Alfred, would you like to go first?
So Alfred would recount the full sort of series of events. He's not going to hold anything back. Just everything from attending the theatre, these hooded figures coming onto the stage, and then being apparently knocked unconscious for 3 months, and then coming to and finding the fungus-infested town and many of its unfortunate inhabitants.
And Christina will bring up the talk about the mushroom horse that Andy and them encountered at the stable.
Good point.
Like
you weren't there.
The docket will say yes. Well, as I noted, the infection does not discriminate among races or species. Even dogs, cats, horses, even plant life can succumb to this malicious disease. But you mentioned something there, Alfric, that you were. I'm presuming you told him absolutely everything. And he goes, you mentioned you're an acquaintance of Gelfond.
Yes.
He came through here. Well, a good few weeks back now. He was heading home before word of the demise of Grendel swept the entire nation. And he was
I don't suppose you recall when precisely he came through, do you?
Well, I would say probably about 2 months ago. He said he was going back to Pethlan. He was very upset and distraught over the demise of his home. He didn't mention it.
Well, as well he might be. I'd very much like to speak with him.
Well, you may find him in the city of Pethlan. That's where he said he was going.
I thank you for letting me know.
Indeed. I was speaking with him before he left.
But you see, you recall I spoke about these hooded figures that we saw. It leads me to fear that this is, well, not a random event, but perhaps there's some sinister design behind the release of this contagion.
Indeed. And, you know, something you say strikes true. Though I could not tell you the shade of their cloaks or even what they look like, but word was that not too long ago, a traveler sought access through Femlis, but refused to go to the clinic for an inspection. The guards turned him away. He did not seem to, I suppose, put up an argument about it. He just took the long way around the village. But I don't know. It seems, unless one was infected and not willing to receive treatment would be the only reason I can think of to not come to the clinic, at least for an inspection. So take from that what you may, but that is
I'm
only
glad you've told me. If there's nothing that we can discern from samples that we have brought, then perhaps our next port of call will be to try and find this fellow.
Might be too early to say yet, my boy. I need to examine this this sample. It might take me a day or so.
Yes, time will tell. But
I'm very excited to see what potential revelations we can glean from this sample. It's in pristine condition. Thank you so much.
And if nothing else is occupying me, I'll be more than happy to help you in your inquiries.
Christine would like to point out, bring the fact that these aren't your typical types of mushrooms either.
Oh yeah. It's like this is very similar to the growths of fungus we see on our patients. I'm very willing to. I'm very aware that this is very dangerous, but in my experience, one can only succumb to the violet madness by means of inhaling its spores. So handling it does not seem to be hazardous.
Interesting.
But you exercised caution, and you were right to do so by not touching it.
Now, I'm sure you're a medical man. I'm sure you have an interest in these things. Did you recall in any of your studies, or perhaps a book that you've read, ever hearing of anything like this before?
I'd say that I have. This is truly something new and quite unsettling.
Very troubling indeed.
Well, we were asleep for those 93 days, remember?
Indeed. That is why, Helfrich, if you're offering to stay here, I would like to examine you also. Maybe there might be...
Well, I think as long as none of the examinations are too intrusive, I'm sure I can...
Of course.
We do have a few different cases. We had a mushroom blow up in a girl's face, causing her, eyes to swell, I believe.
Oh yes, that's true.
We had a little girl that got covered in the mycelium. Yeah, a layer of the mycelium. She was the same as us. Woke up, nothing happened.
Yes, well, depending on what gets infected, they can mutate in different ways. The acid-based ones are a form of, they call them burstlings. It's when a spider has become affected by the violet madness. They seem to burst acid as a means of incapacitating their prey.
Well, this, you probably haven't heard this yet, but we have, I suppose, some good news. We were able to extricate the Duke from Grendal and return him.
He's like, I heard he was in the town and did not make it out, but I'm very well pleased to hear that he is alive and well. His son will also be very pleased.
I should hope the fact that we've rescued him means that we may have his ear. Do you think it's worth advising him to strengthen the quarantine procedures. It's terribly worrying, the thought that the disease could spread further.
Indeed, and
It could get out of control.
Well, I believe it may already have gotten to that point. It is outside of the curtilage of Femlis also. It's spreading.
Oh.
Have any news of the virus spreading down south?
Yeah.
Past Jolman Swamp, perhaps?
All of Castonia is aware of our plight at this time. The Jolman Swamp, that's oddly specific. I won't pry, but if the madness is the violent madness is to reach a place of such rich flora and fauna, it could decimate the area. I know many.
Let me tell you, Grendar was not a pretty sight last we saw of it, and I should hope that no other towns will be rendered into such a state.
I will call the little girl up if she go in here and see if the doctor has seen her parents, because they did escape from the town.
Yep. Well, that's just what Scraps said. So yeah, I suppose all this time, I'm presuming the guys were in there with you.
Yes.
And Albrecht will look at the girl, and he'll turn back to you, Christina, and he'll just shake his head, not say a word.
So while we're outside, it seems like we've got a bit of time as they're there. And I did see Sartarian kind of take a lap of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine Shadar and I are alone for a little bit. And
Okay.
Mina wants to pick at the ghost thing. So she's just kind of going to watch Shadar drink. And so the ghost, you seem pretty interested in the ghost thing. Is that like sacrilege for the Raven Queen, or you scared of ghosts?
First off, would you care for some wine, my friend?
Always.
Very well, it's passable.
Oh, yeah, I will take a swig as well. Hand it back.
It is
Not
my
really.
duty to hunt down ghosts and destroy them there. Any undead is an abomination in the eyes of the Raven Queen. She is the goddess of death. The natural conclusion to life is death.
But
Anything that seeks to subvert that natural progression is an abomination.
But to be a ghost, you must have already died. So is the thought that if you're a ghost or some kind of zombie, that you're not actually fully dead?
The theory is you have been held back or restricted from the natural course of events, which is one's soul should travel to the realm of the Raven Queen.
So you're more just returning lost things.
Indeed.
Huh. So when people make ghosts or zombies, are you saying that they're stronger than your Raven Queen?
No.
But then how would they be able to keep things from her?
Shadar sighs deeply and throws his eyes up to heaven as if he has to explain the same thing to a child. And
There are magics in this world that enable one to capture life's essence before it flees this plane.
It's kind of
That
scary.
is what I'm here to prevent.
And Mina will look appropriately disturbed, just kind of like, ugh. And then she'll eventually just, a noble cause.
Indeed, cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
It's good wine from your neck of the woods.
It's my favorite. And I should have gotten a local vintage as well, but we were
Like
rushing.
an A-B comparison.
Oh, there is no comparison. This wine from Aston is the best, but
It's pretty good.
well, if you're ever in my neck of the woods, I'll take you on a tour.
Would certainly enjoy that. And what about you? Seem less worried about your horse than we did in the other town.
Oh, no, I am very worried about my horse. I just want to get this quarantine stuff over with so that I can go and see if I can find him on my own.
If we could just get him out and complete these examinations, move on. It's very much like a bath and some fresh clothes.
Oh, I hear you, and I agree. We all need baths. I was looking for water, and I actually hadn't seen any from Grendal to here. I'm not much on the topography side, but I thought there would have been something. I don't know if the fungus had anything to do with that disappearing.
Who knows?
But yes, once we are done with everything here, I suspect I shall take my leave of you all and go and find my horse.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. And good luck to whatever mystery you guys are going to attempt to uncover with this violet madness.
Indeed. You see, for us it is duty.
Yeah, I really don't. I try not to get mixed up in big things. I'm not really someone who's capable of handling things like that. No, big scary fights and.
Do I believe her?
You can roll insight.
I sure will.
Would you like me to roll?
You can GM roll what you plan on rolling.
Sorry.
No, I'm talking to me.
Fuck it. I'm going to use my bless.
Nice. Four.
Very
Nice.
handy.
So there is a bit of honesty in this.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Roll
asking
deception.
for the GM roll.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking for the GM roll. Pick whichever one you like.
Hold on. I always forget how to GM roll.
/GM roll.
Thank you, chat.
If you want to just roll either or, either, it's up to you. Whichever way you wanted to play it.
Wait, which are the two?
Mm-hmm.
Or GM or private? Or GM or public or deception or something else?
You can go roll it publicly if you want, since it's fairly clear you're going with deception. I got it. Shadar, she seems fairly kind of on the level about it.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved with anything really big. I just want to go home and drink some good wine at home.
Sounds wonderful. Unfortunately, there are some of us who don't have that luxury.
Well, if your travels ever bring you down to Aston, all of you guys are welcome to have as much wine as you can drink in my estate.
Indeed. I look forward to it.
Should I put
Good.
the cork back in the bottle? Stick it in the bag.
Is there anything? Sorry. Is there anything else for outside before we see what Christina and Elfric want to do?
I imagine
Think-
Tyrion's back at this point if you want to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. As Tyrion comes back to the this conference, it could just be my my experience with large collection of deaths, but this being a clinic for a disease, there is no mass grave. I have circled the clinic, and I cannot find what they are doing with the remains of the infected. Could be somewhere else, but I find that suspicious.
Most likely, they are in flames.
There are no scorch marks, and I see no chimney.
Did you find a crematory?
I did not. Maybe it is somewhere else, and they move the bodies, but
I love a good crematory.
This is morbid.
I love
Somber
the smell of
music.
napalm in the morning. But it's a morbid scene. You're in a clinic full of infected, dying people.
Not a pleasant environment.
Well, let's get this examination over and head to the tavern. What say you?
I might have a stop on the way to the tavern, but that could be where we end up.
Indeed, as do I, my friend. I need to buy some herbs and other tidbits.
Very good. Cool. Is there anything else Christina and Alfric would like to do before you guys get examined and set on your merry way?
The best, Christina would give some suggestions on if he's able to source some ingredients, but some mushrooms and honey. Give a little bit of notes on what can help remedy some things.
Okay. Yeah. He'll gladly accept any kind of notes and kind of tips and tricks on every anything health related. So he's appreciative of that.
As far as Alfric's concerned, he's attended to everything he wanted to here.
Cool. All righty.
If Christina's to do the examination, it needs to be. She says it's going to need to be a closed-off room.
So your examination will be private from everyone else's.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So in that case, then I'll say, well, we'll do the examinations in here, and you'll be the last to leave. We'll do you last. And he just kind of does a very kind of, a thorough but very basic examination at the same time. Like he's just looking at like the inside of people's eyelids, asking to stick out the tongue, and looks at the tonsils, all that kind of stuff. Everyone's fine. No infection. He says everyone's good to go. And as the door closes behind the last, we'll say Alfric is the second last person to get examined. Everyone, actually, passive perception squad here. You guys will probably hear as you're walking away, the door closes and you just hear the muffled voice of Dr. Albrecht saying, okay, let's remove that mask and get a good look at you. And as you're walking away outside the door waiting for Christina, all you hear is Dr. Albrecht just go, oh, my goodness. And yeah, that's all you hear. And Christina, your examination takes a little bit longer, but you follow the guys outside a couple of minutes later, and you guys are free to leave. You're not infected.
That's good to know.
I told you.
Alrighty. I think that is a good place to take our break.
Probably.
We will get back to part 2 with a little less somber music for everyone. As the guys explore.
This is very sad. I don't know why it's not sad to you.
Again, there's no bard in the corner, like, doing his thing.
Playing a jaunty tune.
I was just having a good old drink.
Alrighty, guys, we will see you back here in 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are just after leaving the clinic, and we're back in Femlis, where the music is just so much more peaceful and nice. Yeah, you guys are free to roam the town now that you've been cleared. You can rest assured none of you are infected. Yet.
For now.
What would you guys like to do?
I think Alfric would quite like to pay a visit to the town library.
Stables.
Let's do the stables first.
Oh.
You walk in the door and you see your horse dead, just there. No, I'm just kidding.
Cooked.
Yeah. So I take it you're kind of heading off by yourself, Mina. You head up to Femlis stables, and just like to the left hand side of the stables, you pass this like the ambience around Femlis seems to kind of grow a little bit heavy as you reach this area, as you look to your left and you see the Garden of Rest. It's not as colorful as the rest of the town. It's very kind of run down looking, I suppose, is the best word to describe it. But you're a woman on a mission. You head straight for the stables, and opening the barn door, you just see a young chap just shoveling some hay. And excuse me, he turns to you and says, "Oh, well met. What can I do for you today?"
Real quick, is this a place where you stable your horses or a place where you buy horses, or is it the same place?
It would be the same place.
Okay. Oh, I'm just looking for a horse today.
Oh, well, we have a few for sale. Some are stabled by their owners here, but can certainly accommodate your needs.
Do you mind if I just take a look around?
Absolutely. Connection to one's horse is a part of the process.
Oh, and when you find that right horse, it just absolutely cannot be replaced.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. You seem well adept with the equine. Is there any particular type of horse you'd like? Anything you don't think you need my help, but...
I think I'll know him when I see him.
Okay. So he kind of leaves you to your own devices and kind of stroll around. There's 12 stables in all but 2 are filled. And you're looking, no horse that meets the description of meal.
Cool. So I didn't think it would be that easy, but Mina is still just the littlest bit disappointed. Any stallions there?
Yeah, there'd be 2 or 3 maybe.
Any white stallions, like any horse that would fit Meal's description?
No, they're mostly bay or kind of black.
So, she's just kind of gonna huff a little bit in disappointment as she makes her way back to him. And she's like, I was looking for a white stallion. I was really just hoping to find one of those. Have you ever seen one?
Well, I haven't, but the owner of the stables, Raymond, he was telling me one day about a bunch of people that came sauntering into town. One of them had a beautiful white stallion.
Tell me all about it.
Oh, I don't know much about it. Raymond knows all the information. But I can tell you that they were a band of misfits, let me tell you. Came into town doing as they please shortly after the outbreak.
When did they leave town?
Oh, very soon after. They began to be a nuisance about the town, and they left.
That's the worst. Did they say where they were going?
Again, the horse was stabled here, so the owner, he would have all the information. He looks a little bit down as he says that.
Hey, you okay?
Well, I am but a stabled hand here, but the owner of this stable is a man who's very, very well attuned to the needs and the requirements of all things horse related. As I said, Raymond, he's unfortunately been afflicted with the disease. He's down in the clinic as we speak.
That's terrible.
He knows about this fabled white stallion and the crew that it rode into town on it.
So with that information, Mina might just continue making a little bit more small talk. Just, when did he get affected? That must be really hard on you. Are you practically running these stables by yourself?
Yeah, and he's just kind of solemnly nodding along and saying, yeah, well, look, it's been tough. He's a great man. He's done an awful lot of work managing the horses around Femlis. He's been infected for a while now, but his condition has worsened. Dr. Albrecht has put him in an induced coma to kind of help prolong the infection, but he says I think he's at a pretty terminal state. He's still alive, but we still hold out hope that Dr. Albrecht can do something for him.
Hey, that's all we can do, right?
indeed.
This disease is nasty stuff.
Yes.
But yeah,
everyone knows someone now from around these parts that has lost someone to this.
I cannot believe that someone with a horse that magnificent was just a ruffian. I imagine they were making trouble for everybody in town.
Indeed. Well, judging by the look of this guy, Raymond tells me that he probably didn't acquire his horse by legal means. He was too young, too brash, too brazen to, as Raymond said, have such a majestic animal brought into his stables.
That's a shame. That poor horse.
Well, we couldn't prove anything, so we just took, well, they only paid half of what we had asked, but we were just glad to see the back of them out of town.
The worst. Well, I'll have a think about some of the horses I saw today, and I might stop by tomorrow.
Very well. I look forward to seeing you. Sorry, I never got your name.
My name is Mina. What's yours?
Luca. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure's all mine. And she will make her way out of there, almost storming. But her plan, we can go to the others for now, but her plan at least is to just see if anyone else has been afflicted by these ruffians and maybe knows where they went, because she's going after them, most likely.
Okay. Next up, then, we'll jump to Shadar and Christina, who went to the general goods store. So you guys march on in through the door. And yeah, you see, like, it's I suppose as they say, a general goods store, you see little bits of everything there. They have, some adventuring equipment. They have like some, general goods for, foods, rations, ingredients, things like that.
Yeah, that's what Shadar's after.
Yeah, and a tall half-orc stands behind the counter, one hand kind of leaning down on the counter, and he kind of gives you the nod as you walk in. Says, "Afternoon."
I'll give him the incline of the head.
Yep.
Afternoon, my friend. I am here for some simple and easily and readily found herbs. I seek to make a very common tincture.
And I'll put he'll take out a little piece of parchment that has kind of pencil writing on it, it's clearly like he's kept on this person for quite some time, and it's smudged and it's dirty and it's wrecked, and you just plonk it down on the counter, and he goes,
"There's the list, my friend."
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, how much do you need? A couple days worth, weeks, or
10 days worth, my friend.
Okay. And he'll kind of turn around into the kind of back, and you see him kind of pull out like little drawers in this giant kind of almost cupboard or whatever behind him, pulling out little drawers and taking like teaspoons of different bits and pieces, pouring them into a little bag, and separate bags, and closes them all off. And he just goes talking to himself as he puts it on the counter. Goes, that'll be about let's say 15 silver pieces.
And Shadar just lets out this big, absolute, like, huge sigh of relief.
15. Take 5 extra, my friend.
And he hands him 2 gold.
Oh, well,
And he is like just very, very relieved. He's like, pockets the herbs, walks out.
Yeah, that's mighty kind of you, sir, he says.
Mighty kind of you, my friend.
What about you, ma'am? He says, looking at Christina.
I need a few things, really. One, I was wondering if you had any flowers for sale.
Well, just a few. Nothing too fancy, but so definitely something we can bundle up for that special someone in your life, if that's what you're getting at.
Not particularly. I was wondering if I could have... Christina's going to look around and see if Shadar's still in the room.
Are you?
Shadar's gone. He's outside.
Okay.
It's just you two.
Supping on his wine.
I was wondering to see if we could be delivered.
Well, depending on the distance, it'll
Surumia.
cost them. Well, luckily for you, some traders come up and down collecting medicinal herbs like your friend there just procured from the Jolin Swamp, so Sumeria is quite close. Depending on how many flowers you want, we can arrange something to be delivered.
A bouquet.
Very well. And to whom in Sumeria shall we, the recipient?
Give it to. It's supposed to go on a grave.
Oh, well, I see. Well, I can put a note to the keeper of the graveyard down in Sumeria to lay it upon a particular grave. Just if you want to give me a name or you want to write it down on this here piece of paper, I can arrange that for you.
Yeah, Christina goes to write the exact location where the grave is and everything.
He'll look at it and he'll kind of look up at you and kind of give you a smile and say, "Oh, that's real nice." And he'll just kind of say, "So I'm thinking this and this," as naming out some flowers that he has on display on the window there, and he'll say, "I can bundle these up for you. They'll be down in Sumeria within a week. They'll be kept nice and fresh."
That works wonders. How much?
Again, he does that thing where he's looking down at the note and looking over at the flowers. Well, let's say 25 silver.
I hand him 2 gold pieces.
Oh wow, he's like, wow, this person is really someone to you, huh? Well, we'll take extra special care of that for you.
Be discreet, if you will.
Yes, ma'am.
I also have a few other things. A journal.
Oh yeah, he certainly has something like that in his wares. Yeah. Anything else?
Some writing utensils, and I'm gonna need a bottle of herb-infused oil.
Okay. Yeah, like I mean, they're both fairly common enough items. He'll be able to give the lot for you for maybe like 10 copper or something like that. Nothing crazy.
Okay. I'll just hand him. Wait, what's the transition from silver to copper?
10 copper is 1 silver, I believe.
I'm just gonna hand the silver piece.
Okay, that makes life a little bit easier, I suppose. Yep. So yeah, he has everything you need.
Thank you for this. Question: Do you know any good place for resting?
Well, I would have recommended the Stag's Rest Inn, but the owners are currently in the clinic, afflicted with the disease, so it's closed down. The only place you can rest right now is the Cracked Goblet Tavern. They're run ragged there, so just get a room while you can.
What's with the mill? I saw it on the way in.
Oh, the mill. Well, I don't know too much about it, but Garganth over in the tavern seems to talk about it every now and again. He seems to think that there's something going on up there. There was an accident up there about 5 years ago, and he claims that the place hasn't been right ever since. Something about the old woman, the old weeping woman or something, he says, when he's a few pictures in. But no one really goes up there no more since the accident.
I might go and visit it.
Well, be careful. It's hasn't been kept very well. You don't want to trip and fall over some rubble. It's an awful long way down. Could hurt yourself.
Mostly I'm going to visit for similar memory's sake.
Very good. Well, wish you all the best.
Thank you. And Christina's going to go to leave.
Yeah. Then we shall jump to Alfric.
Okay, yeah, Alfric is going to head to the town library. I'm going to assume, as this isn't the biggest of places, that the library is going to be fairly modest.
Yeah, it's not a capital city library by any means.
Sure.
It's it has a little sign out the front, says the pen and paper library, and that's name is a tip of the hat to the pen and paper pod. They run a Twitch on stream as well, so giving them a shout out.
Nice.
You can enter on in there, and you see a rather old-looking elven lady behind the library counter. And
She must be really old if she's an old elven lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But good day.
She'll look up over a pair of spectacles and say, welcome. Do be quiet upon entering, will you?
Oh, yes, sir. Pardon me. I wondered if I might spend some time here reading.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's loads of pods here for you to rest yourself and relax and absorb some information.
Now I understand this might be a little bit close to home, but have you any books at all on disease and that sort of thing? I'm doing some research.
I can only imagine as to what disease you are talking about, but no, I'm afraid I do not.
Well, not to worry.
If it is the madness you're researching, it's quite a new illness to surface. There's not much recorded data on it just yet.
Yes, I can imagine that might be a problem. Well, not to worry. I'll spend some time here anyway.
Okay.
And see if I can find anything of interest.
You roll a perception check.
Okay.
Or investigation, up to you.
I'll go with investigation, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a +9 in that.
Okay, 17.
17.
Nice. Yeah. So, as you're looking around the bookshelves, you pick a place that's kind of visible to the front desk, because you're the only person in here, other than the librarian. You find a few books that kind of look a little bit interesting. You find a book called Fiends and Fortresses, the Player's Handbook. It's a book on how, to play the popular role-playing game Fiends and Fortresses, where people roll dice and whatnot.
That sounds like a wonderful time.
You see some other books as well, light reading more than anything else. But you pick up a book that strikes your interest. It's called What to Expect When You're Spectating. It's a history of the world written by a famous beholder author. But as you're reading that, you're kind of just sitting back, eyes on the desk, or eyes on the book, but someone pops through the door while you're reading and kind of piques your interest a little bit, because they kind of open the door kind of like as if they stumbled inside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just as a note, when Alfric's reading, he tends to use his mage hand to hold the book and conjures a dancing light over his shoulder to aid in him seeing the page.
Awesome, love it. But like you're in plain view. This guy doesn't even see you, like magically holding this book with the light over your shoulder. He just kind of stumbles in. And he just goes, I spilled some of my drink. And he's holding a cup in his hand. Spills a bit of wine on his shirt, and he goes up.
Not Shadar.
It's not Shadar.
I was just going to say Alfric would probably think it was Shadar.
This guy is human, and he stumbles up and kind of just not slams, but kind of flops two books onto the counter. Goes, finish these. You got any more? She was like, Harold, I told you not to come in here drunk. Here, just take these and be gone. I was like, He'll pick up the books and he'll look over at you, Alfric, holding his books in one hand and his cup in the other, and he'll just kind of squint at you, going, and he'll just kind of shuffle out again and close the door rather loudly after him. And you see the librarian just kind of looking at the door, just going, kind of like almost kind of like had enough of this kind of thing, but also pitying expression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alfred will go over to the desk after maybe he's finished the chapter that he was on. Excuse me, that fellow who was in here a little while ago, he seemed to give me a bit of a strange look. Is there anything I should be concerned about?
Harold? No. If he was to give you a look, it's probably because he didn't recognize you. He knows everybody in town, and everybody in town knows him. She was talking like kind of softly, but now she's whispering. She says, "That's Harold Aberthale." She says, as if you're like supposed to know who that is. She says, "Oh, you. Well, that poor."
He's a person of some significance. He seems to be an avid reader.
Well, Harold doesn't really get out much. He orders takeaway drinks from the tavern, brings it back to his only stops in town or to the general goods to get his procurements for the week, get his daily supply of drink from the tavern and his daily supply of books from the library. I've told him not to come in drunk, though, but...
Well, I can sympathise with that. I spend an awful lot of time in the Wizard's Tower.
Well, I think this is something to take his mind off other things. He was... a couple of years ago, he was... His daughters were killed along with some other children in town.
Well, how dreadful.
They were playing his 3 girls, triplets, rather lovely young ladies, but they brought some friends over for a bit of a sleepover or something, but Harold and his wife were out. The girls were old enough to look after themselves. They were only playing games, but they were playing something or messing with candles or something, but long story short, the house burned to the ground and all the children with it. Now,
it's awful.
Indeed, yes. The townsfolk never really forgiven the Aberthales for the disaster, those whose children perished in particular. But the funny thing was, when they went to search through the rubble after the fire had dissipated, they never found the bones or any remains.
How strange.
Indeed, and it was only a matter of time before the hearsay and the what would you call it, the badgering from the town that the Miss Aberthale, she had enough, and she said she always went around town saying she could still hear the voices of her girls in the 4 walls of their house that they rebuilt. And she took her own life. It's just been Harold for the longest
tragic
time
tale.
since. Indeed, he cuts himself off from the world and remains in the house that he rebuilt, a part of the house that burnt to the ground, but his living conditions are dire, to say the least.
Well, I should be sure to bear that in mind and not to inadvertently upset him if we should cross paths.
Indeed.
He's obviously had a hard time of it.
Indeed, and some children have been quite cruel as of late playing the Annie Aberthale game, apparently. It's like an urban legend or something that they like to play this game that seems to play with the ghost of Annie Aberthale or something. It's quite cruel. I'm sure Harold knows about it and it upsets him greatly.
I know children like those sort of games, but it seems to be in very poor taste.
Indeed. But I hope this hasn't put a dampener on your evening. Please feel free to enjoy your book.
Oh no, not at all. Thank you for your help. I'll be getting on with it.
Very well. And she'll continue doing what she was doing, arranging books.
Okay, and Alfred will return for some more reading. He'll probably stay there until it gets it well into the evening, or maybe until the library closes, and then return to the tavern.
Okay. So I think everyone was returned to the tavern except Tyrion, who has business in the guards' barracks. So we'll jump to Tyrion and then back to the guys.
So Tyrion will have made his way to the guards' barracks, and he will be looking for the person in charge with the checkpoint rota.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're directed to the captain of the guard. And he comes before you, sees your armor, holy symbol, and says, "Well met. What can I do for you, Paladin?"
Well, I'm not exactly sure if news has reached you yet, but there was a situation at the checkpoint around Grendel. Not one, but two of your patrols were viciously murdered by bandits.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, God, I was expecting the relief, the party that the guards had relieved. They were a couple of days late. I was about to send out dispatch another unit to search for them. You're sure they have been slain? What of the checkpoint? What of?"
Well, myself and a group of companions were traveling from Grendel when we came upon the checkpoint and noticed how suspicious the guards on duty were acting, and we confronted them. And after a confrontation, we managed to subdue a few, for questioning, and were able to get information with various techniques. We discovered that they found the checkpoint and slaughtered the original guards on duty, and then upon the arrival of the rotation, killed those guards as well. It's an unfortunate matter, but these men have been sent to their gods for judgment. They have been relieved of their bodies, and unless you care to check the checkpoint for the remains, that has been done. But I have recovered as many valuables as I could, and I have a collection here for the families of the slain men and women.
Yeah, he believes you, and he's just going, "Oh, gods, we're stretched thin as it is. We cannot keep up with the banditry that has ravaged these lands almost as badly as this plague."
Unfortunately, it is the way of the world. When there is hardship, the unfortunates come to suffer or to cause suffering for the meek and prey upon the unhindered.
I shall have to write to the Duke and request more reinforcements again. This will not do. But please, let me take what belongings you have gathered. We'll make sure that their family receives the compensation and belongings that their loved ones bore.
And Tyrion will hand over the purse with 220 gold.
Cool.
And he'll say, and before I leave, there is a secondary matter. Upon arrival at your city gates, we met a group of guards, and I asked them if they had seen in recent days a individual come from the Grendel Road in a blue cloak, and they informed me that they had not, but to ask at the barracks, as some officers off duty may have seen something.
Well, let me have a look at our watch log, our journal, and he'll sit down behind this desk and he'll take out this thick kind of leather journal and he'll just flick through it and just, yes, yes, okay. We take a record of everyone that either passes through our gate or approaches it. And it is, yes, it seems that 3 days ago, an individual sought passage through the village, but on direction to go to the clinic first for a check for infection, the person simply declined. They were wearing a hood. The guard did not manage to get an accurate description of their face, but upon turning to leave, he did notice that this person was most likely infected. There seemed to be some sort of fungal growth on their cheek as he turned away. Not much more else to say than that. We can't arrest him for being suspicious. We just let him leave. He must have taken the long way around to wherever he wanted to go.
Tyrion, his face will go from what's the phrase? He's gone from just being to the fact, and now he's kind of gone. His brow is furrowed. Like there's a bit of anger. Like he's not full on raging, but he's kind of frustrated. What the captain has said. And he goes, so What you're telling me is that you have a checkpoint set up for people coming from Grendel. You have a quarantine zone in Femlis for the sickened, and your guards on duty suspected an infected person was at their gates, and they have let the infection leave.
Well, I shared your frustration, Sir Tyrion. When they reported this, they were unclear as to what the protocol was. They couldn't force the person in. He had done nothing wrong. It was only when they had told me they had noticed what may have been a growth on his face that resembled fungal matter that I assure them that from here on out that this is something we need to at least temporarily detain people who approach our gates and not let out into the open area and spread this disease further.
Yes, for the good of the many comes the worry of the few. I suggest if your guards ever see a suspected infection again, or even if anyone refuses inspection, that is a severe indicator that they are not trustworthy and must be checked against their will for the safety of the others.
That has already been duly noted.
Well, I shall take your word at this, that you have instructed to your guards, and I shall leave you to your business.
Yes, well, please understand we can only do the best with what we have.
Of course, and now you have learned to do better. He'll
give a stiff upper lip at that one. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Are we all congregating back at the tavern then?
Well, what time is it exactly? Because I know
it's probably closing in on evening time at this point.
Everyone's just going to see a swarm of bees gather in the sky for regrouping at a location.
All right, so they're all coming back.
Yeah, Mina's just sitting at a table, nursing something and in a foul mood.
Yeah, Shadar will be inside as well.
Okay.
Does Mina want to be left alone? Shadar is happy to sit at the bar. Shadar. Wine tennis.
Yeah, I guess she's in a chair. It's not really sitting at the bar. Yeah.
I'll go up to what's his name?
Gargant.
Yeah, Gargant.
Well, my friend, I'm in need of rooms for the night. Well, just one.
Okay, upstairs we have some private rooms. We have a communal room out in the back here.
How much for the private room? And I wish a bath.
Bath inclusive. That would be 1 gold piece. But
It's
you know
yours. What?
Since you're a valued customer, let's half that price. 5 gold or 5 silver pieces.
Thank you, my friend. If you're ever in need of someone to conduct any funereal rituals, I will do it for free.
Our valued customer.
Sadly, these days that's in plentiful supply.
Indeed.
Okay, yep. Private room's yours.
Excellent. Does he
It's
get a
just
key?
Yeah, it's just upstairs. There's no map for it, so I will.
No, that's fine. That's go. But he gets a key. It's like it's a lockable door. Isn't it?
Yeah. It's a isolated room, lock and key, the whole
Brilliant.
9 yards.
Great, Shadar.
Well, I'll have some food as well, please.
Very well. He can meals per day, 4 silver per person. So
very well. Well, I've got 5 left over from that, so I'll give him 5.
Yeah, cool.
And he can keep the 1.
Gargant is raking it in today.
He sure is. Happy to give it to him.
Cool.
Very well.
Yeah, so you're fed, watered, and
Let's
bedded.
go over here. Yeah, let's go over here and eat. If this guy doesn't mind me being there.
Yeah, like he'll he's just like he's playing both sides this dragon chess set by himself.
Oh, so I'll sit here then.
Okay. yeah, and he kind of just looks up to you and goes, and he kind of just goes back to his game.
Food, if you don't mind, my friend.
You do what you got to do.
Very well, you as well, my friend.
I think, would I be able to see him
Show it
playing
in.
the chess from where I am?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very small room, so.
Okay, I'll head over. Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't care for an opponent by any chance, would you?
You fancy yourself a chess player, huh?
I'll grab his meal and go back to the bar.
I dabble. I dabble from time to time.
Okay. So let's say, yeah. Well, sure. Why not? And yeah, he'll kind of like take back all the pieces and set them back up again in the place they were. And just sitting in front of him, you notice, all the pieces, either white stone, black stone, but you see him playing with this one brass player piece, the piece of the paladin. He sets it all down.
There's an interesting game piece you have there. I don't recall seeing one like that before.
Oh, this? Oh, yeah. Well, this dragon chess set was a present from my grandpappy, and it came with this brass paladin piece. Yeah.
Very nice.
It, maybe he lost the stone version. I don't know. But well, if you like it, why don't we make this interesting? What if if you win, I give you my brass paladin piece. I'm sure I can procure a stone piece elsewhere. I don't hold any sentimental value to it. If I win, you give me 5 gold.
I think you have yourself a deal.
Alrighty. You challenge Carrick. Can I get an intelligence check?
Carrick's here now?
What?
Intelligence check from me.
From you, yeah, please, Elfric.
May I use my bless on top
You
of
may.
it?
You may.
Okay.
Eat it!
Ooh.
Hey.
Thank you very kindly for the bless.
This
Yeah.
This guy who, as you're talking and playing, he introduced himself as Carrick, and he was quite good. He was one of the, you've played Dragon Chess before a good few times, and he was one of the better opponents. It was a high DC, and you bet it. He humbly nods at the end of the game as you make that checkmate move, and he goes, "Any fool that comes in here and challenges me usually makes their demise. I've made a little bit of gold off him, but you, sir, you're something else."
Well, it was a fine game.
I believe a deal is a deal, and he'll flick it in between his fingers and hold out the brass paladin.
Oh, thank you very much for upholding your end of the deal. Now, tell me, are you a local here?
Lived here my whole life.
Oh, I've never been here before. I'm new in the area.
Oh, well, welcome to Femlis. It's a sleepy little village, but it's it's home.
Yes, a shame not to visit in happier times. I understand things are a little bit fraught at the moment.
Well, you could say that, yeah. I tend to keep myself to myself here in this tavern, playing my games, but yeah, people on the outside tend to be struggling an awful lot.
But I don't suppose you've noticed anyone else unusual passing through of late, have you? I've heard there was a fellow who seemed to evade the quarantine check.
Know too much about that.
No matter. Just
I keep to myself. Me and Garganth, we like to keep to ourselves here.
I can quite understand that.
Indeed, yeah. He's It's it can be quite quiet in here. It's good to have a bit of company, grumpy old Garganth, he kind of keeps to himself, and I guess so do I a good bit. But
Well, thank you for the game, and I'm not sure how long I'll be here, but perhaps we can play again another time if I'm still around.
Maybe I can win that piece back off you sometime.
Yes, well, if not, I'll be taking good care of it. Don't worry.
Well, I won't mind.
And I'll leave him to it. And I'll inquire about getting a room as well.
Sure. Are you
Private
going
room.
private? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for the private room and the food as well.
Yeah, same then. Since you're not a valued customer in Gargain size, it'll be 4 silver for the meal and a gold for the room.
Gotcha.
And
Done.
you can share the bath with Shadar.
Nice.
I assume Mina bought hers beforehand, so I can go ahead and mark that off.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. No problem at all.
Is mine a gold or 5 silver? I did
It would
buy
be
the one bottle, but
it would be the same as Elfric. Yeah, same as Elfric. Yeah, cool. So what's everybody else doing in the Cracked Goblet Tavern?
Tina is up by the front desk,
Hmm.
and if I remember correctly, I was told there was someone here to talk to about the windmill or mill.
Oh, the old mill. You would wanna talk to Gargant. He's one to huff and puff about the old mill every now and again. He seems to think that there's something off about it. He says he hears someone crying or something up there. From down here, preposterous. But
Thank you.
Yep.
Shadar will go and take the seat there. And plop the bottle of wine down. Take his boots off if the fire's going.
That is, yeah.
It's good to be in civilization again.
Tyrion's just standing outside.
Tyrion was waiting for a moment to
Sorry.
say that he is instructing his mastiff to do a continuous patrol around the outer wall of the city and occasionally coming in and doing a patrol inside it. And if
That is a
it sees
good point.
anything suspicious, any cloaks hiding in shadows or anyone appears to be ducking and diving between buildings, to instantly let them know, as the guards in this city are strained and are more like a militia than a properly trained guard force, and he doubts it is up to the task.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, Shadar, I guess, plops over next to me. You see that she's in a bad mood. She barely kind of gives you a nod when you sit down.
Why so sullen, Mina?
Well, it appears that the bandits that stole my horse have already made their way out of town.
Oh, I see. Did you catch the direction in which they fled?
No, I don't think so, Mark. Did I?
No. One person knows the stable owner, but he is down in the clinic.
Seems like the only person who would know has succumbed, or is in the process of succumbing to the violent madness, and is in a coma.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mina. Shadar leans over and winks. We could wait for him to die, and I could cast Speak with Dead.
And that is, like, to Shadar, a really fucking funny joke.
You know, for some
He
reason,
gives you a wink and takes a swig of the bottle.
for some reason, it's a really funny joke to Mina too. As she kind of cracks a smile and she goes, "I suppose we could."
Indeed. The
Nope. Die
the
soon?
dead have lots to tell us, if only we'd listen.
How loud
what have-
did Shadar say that?
I
Because
mean,
everyone's in the room.
It's a small room.
He did lean
conversational
over.
level. He leaned over and kind of whispered it conversationally to her, like kind of like an inside joke.
Like a conspiracy, like
Yeah,
you
kind of
could just
conspiratorial
die.
kind of whisper, you know. Miss Jawbreaker says, "Do it." But yeah, you know, that's a really funny kind of morbidly humorous joke to Shadar.
Yeah, Mina laughs at that one. And she asks, what have the dead told you?
Well, you see, when I contact the dead, If they are unwilling to answer the questions I pose them, they are not obliged. But some of them, I don't know, maybe in a vain hope of achieving a more favorable judgment when they pass on. So I find some of them to be quite agreeable.
Your queen's okay with that?
Quite obviously, she grants me the power to do it.
I don't know. Talking to them is one of those things.
Well, obviously, I catch them. Mina, you must understand the queue. The queue is inexorably long. When one dies, one would be tens, hundreds of years in the queue before they pass on, you see. Their souls. My father was there once.
Once? Did he come back?
He did not die. He traveled there on a mission. Told me of that place. It sounded beautiful.
You're not Russian there, are you?
When it's my turn, I will go with eyes wide and a happy smile. Yes. Yes.
Well, if you find yourself bored in the middle of the night, I suppose we could take a watch and see if anything exciting happens.
Shadar kind of snaps back to reality. Happy to do my duty and watch out for the party. I have a private room upstairs, but just let me know. I'll take my ease down here and take my watch.
I meant in case the good man dies, but I don't think we have to keep watch in a tavern. I should hope not.
In my experience, you do.
Yeah, I suppose Tyrion, you hear a good chunk of that. I mean, it's a long conversation.
I just leave his toys. Noted something. That was it.
In the back pocket.
So, was I also told that I need to share the same bath that apparently Shadar?
No, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh,
like, I mean, if you want to take turns in the
that's
bath,
a dirty.
I'll
That's a
jump
dirty
in
bath now.
There is
a big giant pool.
There is only one bath, like, so unless you're jumping on it at the same time, you can take turns.
Yeah, well, I believe Shadar was the first to ask where to go, so he kind of slaps his hand down on the desk and says, well, Mina, I'll see you in about an hour and a half. And the rest of you, Ingrits, I'm off to have a wash. And he heads upstairs, boots tied together by the same lace, and just sticks them over his shoulder and goes, Innkeep, hot water and rose petals, please.
Already had the hot water heating up for you. Rose petals, may need a couple of minutes for that.
Very well. Shadar is going to go up and he's going to have his bath. Wash his hair. He's going to take out his blade. He's going to reshave his undercut. And he's going to apply some ointment to the massive scar in his neck that's covered up by his scarf. And he's going to he's gonna have
himself a nice old bath.
Yeah, a little bit of me time, and then once that's
Please
done,
don't leave any bubbles for the rest of us.
No, he'll once he's done, maybe an hour, he'll get back into his gear and head. He'll kind of drag the bath out to the corridor in an effort to help the person that has to move it, and then he'll head back down. And he looks very, very fresh.
Half elf on the shelf wants to know if you got your boat in the tub, would you?
He does, yeah. What's the name of? Let me find out. Is there a name for Charon's boat?
For the which?
The boat that crosses the river Styx.
Oh yeah.
Charon.
Yeah, well, Charon's the ferryman. No, there's no name for it. All right.
Sure, let's go with just
There
the
was.
WT, huh?
Yeah. Nebuchadnezzar.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's happy out.
Okay. Yeah, so anyone else want to do anything for
Well-
the evening?
Christina is going to ask for a private room.
Yeah, same again then.
Um,
Gold piece for the room, and if you're looking for food as well, it's the extra 4 silver.
So Mina's gonna take a walk at night, probably. Just say hi to Fido when I see him walking around. The place, the quarantine place.
Yeah.
Is it locked? Is it open?
Yeah. Like you're going to the clinic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's open.
So yeah, I guess Mina will just take a walk. She'll try to find the person that the stable hand told her about.
Okay. That will require moving maps. So we'll
I
do that
we can
last
just-
if that's cool with
yeah,
you.
I wasn't trying to do much. I'm just trying to suss out the place. Is anyone there? Are the patients mostly left alone? Is this guy
okay.
in a private space? And just happy to walk out after that.
Cool. Okay. Well, you don't know what this guy looks like, though.
You didn't tell me anything about him?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I'll just take stock.
Dr. Albrecht is still there. You look in the windows and he's like taking a damp cloth and kind of putting it on one of the patient's foreheads, and he's drawing some blood, taking some notes, that kind of thing. He's working away.
Okay. So we can do everything else if you want to come back to that combo.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, Christina, you were renting a room?
yes, renting a room, and I'm going to also ask for some information regarding the old mill.
Yeah, and Gargan's like, old mill, huh? Yeah, every now and again I'll tell anyone who cares to listen, but no one believes that I hear someone calling out in the night. And people have gone up during the day and investigated, but come back with nothing. I guess I put the spooks, and some people are maybe too afraid to go up at nighttime, but no one else seems to think they can hear it, but I can. I can hear it. Faint, but I can hear it. Someone's calling out into the night.
Well, I was thinking of going up there for other reasons, but if you wish, I could go check it out for you.
At night, huh? You're not afraid?
I have seen a lot of things, but not easily that scared, I suppose, from ghost stories.
Well, by all means, but don't come crying to me if you hurt yourself up there. It's be hard to see up there at nighttime.
I little thick skin, so I can take a good beating.
Well, very well. He'll point you in the direction of where the old battered wooden steps up to the old mill on the hill are, and it's not too far from there.
Before that, may I have the key for the room?
Oh yeah. So once you pay for the room, he slides over the key and goes, "Well, you have yourself a good rest tonight, providing you make it back safely."
Yeah, right. That'll only be a bit.
Okay.
Where do I go for the...
Well, I don't have a map for a private room, so you can just leave the old token there, and if you want to do anything up in the room, then that's no problem. You can just narrate it from here.
Yeah. Unless anyone else wants to do something.
I was having a bubble bath.
Alfred will probably just head to his room and read and keep to himself.
All right.
All right.
It's gonna be interesting. Then.
Before of him goes, are we going to do watches, or do we trust in the relative security of this place?
Who are you talking to exact? The party or?
Yeah.
No.
That's up to you guys.
Christina has no issue to doubt the security here.
Yeah, neither does Alfric, unless Alfred's certainly not going to take the initiative to.
Very well. Just thought I'd ask, you know.
So if there's nothing, like Shadar's there until he'll probably be like last to go up.
Okay.
Then,
How much is it for the communal room?
It is, well, for like all 5 beds, it's a gold piece as well. So
like, you're not just buy a bed.
not in the communal one, no. Well, actually, you could, I suppose. Sorry, yeah. So it would be just be what, 2 silver pieces?
Yeah, I think Tyrion would have went for that option.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. You could be sleeping with randos, but sure, I don't think you'd care.
That's the life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll jump to Christina then, and then Mina, and then we'll see how we finish out the evening then.
Well, Christina is going to go up to the private room, lock it behind her, and after doing a little survey of the room, she's going to take her mask off, take the leather wrap off her arm, and start taking the mushroom armor off. As she reaches into her bag and putting the shield and bees and the mushrooms on the side, and pulls out the ointment and some of the mushrooms. Using her herbal kit, she starts mixing the mushrooms and the oil together to make a mushroom-based ointment.
Okay.
As she starts putting it on her face, does she see a mirror?
Yeah, like, I mean, in the private rooms, you'd have, like, you know, your bed, a little writing desk and chair, and yeah, there'd be a mirror in there.
Well, it's not a chance. She's still going to look around the room, even while she's doing it.
Yeah.
But as she putting the ointment on her face, she catches a look into the mirror and just stares for a moment before dropping onto her knees, gripping her head, a little bit of pain. She runs up and uppercuts the mirror, shattering it.
Nice. Okay. I would definitely think Alfric heard that, and probably Shadar, given his.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Someone can
Shadar hears
fire
everything.
Shadar with
Shadar
you,
has
man.
no secrets.
Shadar was on the
Shadar
ethereal.
hears everything.
Yeah, so Alfric and Shadar, you guys would have heard the sound of shattering something.
Okay.
Carrick says 7 years bad luck. Anti-bless for the rest of the campaign.
I bless.
Shadar will walk out and just he has his mace. He's actually sorry, he's downstairs, but he would have still heard it.
Still heard it.
Yeah. Is Mina still there?
Sure.
Did you hear that?
No.
Sounds like glass breaking. Maybe we should check.
She's gonna look over at the bar. Okay.
Upstairs.
I mean, if you wanted to invite me to your room, you could have just invited me to your room.
Never.
Shadar will head upstairs. Where's upstairs?
Sorry, it's over.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, cool.
He's
Shadar will
instinctively going to the wine cellar.
Yeah, exactly. That's on brand. But
Yeah.
Mina will
he'll
give a
pop
shrug
up
and
to-
she'll follow.
pop
Before they
upstairs
get
to whoever it is, and
Yeah.
he'll knock on the door and go,
Christina, are you under attack?
No, just dealing with some things. That's
Very
all.
well. Keep it down, please.
Yeah, your hand would be pretty badly cut after uppercutting a mirror, actually.
Christina is gonna summon the bees, and they're gonna throw them, bring the mask over. And she slips it back onto her head.
Never is such a final word. Like, you could have just said no or not now. Like, never is insulting.
What?
You said never. Never is insulting, you know? As a woman, I have my pride.
I'm a cleric of the Raven Queen. I only deal in absolutes.
So are
What?
you?
No offense intended.
Oh, so you're okay. I
What?
get it. Sorry, I didn't mean
I'm
to.
what?
Celibate? You've taken an oath, obviously. So.
I've taken an oath to destroy and annihilate undead whenever I find them. It's the only oath I've taken. Celibacy.
What is it? It's an accident?
Actually, yes.
Oh.
Folks might find my matter-of-fact attitude quite the turn-off, but rotting is not high on my list of priorities.
Well, if you keep telling girls never, then it'll never happen.
Indeed.
Shadar will take his boots back off and go back to his wine.
Yep, and Mina's pride is not hurt because it's not her. It's just Shadar. And that's easy to just, yeah. Maybe if I was dead, who knows?
Wow. Wow.
Eradicate this.
Yeah, that was a joke that just didn't stop.
And the bard is dead.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh dear.
Shadar will be last to bed. Anyway, if
Okay.
anyone wants to do that before that.
I think Mina said she was taking a walk,
Yeah.
but I think she needs a moment.
Well, I can finish up with Christina then.
Sorry,
before she
I
goes.
thought you were done.
No.
My bad.
No. Well, with the glass in the hand, she pulls it out and uses the bead to get the finer bits of glass out. As she uses some of her magic and uses Cure Wounds on herself. As mushrooms basically form on the cuts and the mycelium knitting the skin back together as it heals up.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you wouldn't have. That was just her flavor. You didn't take any damage from the.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay. Cool.
Other than that, she's just gonna put the rest of the ointment on, put the sleeve over, and then get ready to go out.
Cool. Okay. We'll jump to Mina then.
Hi.
Let me head back to the clinic for you. So we'll just pretend that you guys' other character tokens are gone from there now. It's just touching late evening, kind of closing in on nighttime now, Mina. You look inside and you can see.
Oh, I wanted to take like a midnight stroll.
Okay. Well, midnight, Dr. Albrecht is still going to be there anyway, working
no,
away
it just-
tirelessly.
For
Midnight.
good.
Okay. Yeah, so you stroll up there and you see him still working away there.
Yeah, she'll give a knock on the door and
Yeah,
open it.
He'll be a little bit
Just a little
surprised to hear someone knocking on the door, but he'll beckon you in. He'll say,
Like a doctor, you're working
wanna-
too hard.
Well, this plague rests for no one. I've been studying the sample that Alfred and Christina had brought in. Need a few more hours, but...
Oh, I'm not rushing you.
Well, is there something I can do for you?
Well, I was wondering if there was anything I could do for you. I mean, I've got a little bit of healing magic. It's not much, but if anything can be done to make those more comfortable, especially those, towards the end of life, the ones that, there's no real hope, nothing coming back from.
Yes, well, he'll say in a more hushed voice as he kind of gets closer to you and say, well, I'm afraid to say, unless we find a cure, there's not really much hope for any of these poor folks, but yes, well, unfortunately, you're as kind as you are to offer your magic, would be less of a solace to anyone. The only one near death at the moment is Raymond, but I've placed him in a induced coma in order to prolong the effects so that I might find a cure soon, and with Christina Alfric's help, that might be on the horizon.
Oh, Oh, Raymond, he's the he owned the stables.
Indeed, yes, quite a nice fellow actually.
Oh, was he? Oh, which one is he?
He'll beckon you back to his kind of laboratory area back here. And inside the door, he'll stand by this guy here on the table.
Oh, okay.
So this guy here. You can see him breathing very, very harshly, just going. And his skin is just starting to almost go grey, and his you can see that there are some kind of growths starting to form on his skin as well as a result of this violet madness.
Tell me, Doc, I have to admit all of this is frightening. What do you think it's like for him right now? Think he's suffering?
Well, that I can say from experience that in the coma, he feels nothing, so... But I do have a plan. Have a plan, yes. Well, it's not absolute just yet. I'll know more come morning, but I think we might be able to save him. Or at least, at the very least, if we cannot save him, he may be able to save others. From the sample, I have looked at it, examined it closely, and determined that there's a few strains of this fungus that if we were to get some live tissue samples, particularly from someone afflicted as Raymond is, we may be able to synthesize some sort of tincture or elixir that might, if not cure disease, at least null the effects for a period of time.
You can't mean to flay him.
Oh, heavens, no, that would not be my way. Well, I suppose it's okay to tell you. I have a means of extracting this tissue from the live sample. It's incredibly dangerous, but I can only ask those willing enough to do it. I've concocted a potion. Have you can cast spells, right?
I can.
Have you ever heard of the enlarge reduce spell?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Well, this here, and he'll like open up his cloak, and he has like a couple of potions like strapped to this little kind of strap. They're all different colors. He pulls out a vial and he says, "But this is something I've worked on for quite some time, okay?" And he's getting really kind of into this now. He's kind of speaking a little bit more faster, kind of more intently. He says, "You see, this here now is a reduce potion, but I have manufactured in such a way that I created a reduce potion, and then I use reduce to reduce that, and then I brewed that into another reduce potion, and so on and so on. This is a potion of supreme reduce. If I can apply this to some individuals willing enough, I could shrink them down so small that they could actually go in and extract live tissues."
Osmosis Jones.
Yep, that's what
Kind
I
of.
was thinking of.
Kind of. He says, "Well, it's extremely dangerous, and the potion only lasts for a certain period of time. But yes, in theory, I could shrink people small enough to go inside the human body and extract the strains of this fungus we need."
Is it? You would just be extracting strains to do more experiments on. Wouldn't be to cure people.
Well, we don't know. If nothing else can come of it, at least we could potentially get Raymond back to a stable condition. But
Well,
I would be hopeful that living samples from inside the body, if we could use the proteins from it to synthesize some sort of cure.
surely you could just. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not really that medically inclined. I do know that my friend Christina can use that spell. You were.
Yes, but not to the potency of this. That can only shrink or enlarge you quite a certain amount. But this is we're talking microscopic. It's quite groundbreaking, really, if I do say so myself. And Ryan says, does he have a superior enlarged potion? Asking for a friend. I love that.
Have you tried that out before?
I have on myself, yes. Well, in the essence of, for science, I had to try it. No, I wouldn't be one to go exploring the body. You have to understand there, even though it's the human body there, when you're that size, certain dangers can lurk within. But the potion itself only lasts for about 5 or 6 hours.
So,
and if it lasts any longer than that, you should call a doctor. No, I'm just kidding.
So, are you planning to use this on yourself?
Well, I would not be well equipped enough to face the dangers inside the human body. If I could get a group of people able-bodied enough, wink, wink, to.
Does he say that?
No, he doesn't. That was Merrick saying that. No, if I can get a collection of people willing to explore this possibility, they could have a hand in stopping this plague.
You would need some really brave and potentially stupid people for that.
Well, I would say less stupid and more scientifically curious. To get a first-hand look at a microscopic level through your own eyes.
Have you mentioned this to Alfric?
I haven't just yet, no.
Are you planning to? He seems just
I was going to
curious enough.
Well, that is interesting. I was waiting until morning until I analyzed the sample more. The more I looked at it, the more the feasibility of this, could be. So yes, I was going to bring this up with Alfric.
What would happen if you went into someone's body who was dead? Do you think the virus would be dead?
Most likely. It would certainly not be a representative sample.
Interesting.
But,
I guess you're.
Luckily for Raymond, he still has a few more days.
Well, let's hope he hangs on for a few more days then. I'm sure the people I was traveling with will be back in the morning, and some of them may even agree to help you out. So, in that case,
that would be most pleasing. I'm fascinated to know how this will go.
Well, hang in there, Raymond.
I will. You too.
She says that to the person.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Raymond just opens his eyes.
He's woken up.
I did it. I did it, guys.
And the campaign is now over. No. Sorry, I thought you were talking to Dr. Albrecht there for a second.
No. But she just kind of hang on, Raymond. And then, well, thanks for sating a young girl's curiosity here. Don't work too hard.
Well, and likewise, go back and get some rest for yourself.
Yeah. Well, you get some rest. Don't tell me you're in here all night.
Well, I'll do it. I'll do what I can before I retire back to my abode.
Take care, Doc. And she'll kind of pat him on the shoulder and head out.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think Shadar's going to bed. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you finished, sorry.
No, just going to say she'll return to the tavern after that.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if we have the time, but Christina said she was going to go to the old mill.
Okay.
So she'll wild shape and fly over.
Okay. Yeah, so you wild shape, fly over this mill, and I take it into the form of an eagle. But it's, it's...
You know what? No, it's in the shape of a raven.
Ah, nice. Okay. So you fly to the top of this windmill.
And did you see that out the window? Swear it was a raven.
And it's dilapidated. It's not falling apart. It's not crumbling. There's no parts of the wall that's caved in or anything like that. But it's.
You meant Rhino?
Yeah, we'll think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you fly over this mill, and structurally it's still sound, but it's very visually like not inhabited for quite some time. Around the place, it's all junk. It's all like overgrown, things like that. But the actual windmill itself is still just turning lazily in the breeze.
Is there any cracks to fly inside?
No, it's structurally sound.
Okay.
Windows, doors, the whole lot.
Well, might not be soon. Is there a window at the top?
No,
No, just that entrance at the bottom?
just the entrance at the bottom. Yeah, so it like goes. It's like a silo shape, but then a little kind of side rectangular little entranceway, like a shack, that entrance into the mill. But it's all sealed off. There's windows and doors. Yeah.
Well, Christina would like to attempt to go inside.
Yeah, like I mean.
Unwild shape, of course.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I'm going to drag you over to this new map. I wasn't sure if you were planning on going inside or not.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay. Let me drag you over. This is just Christina. So everyone else is going to be on the map, but it's just Christina that's here.
Tyrion's at the bar with a whetstone. There we go.
Okay. Opening the door. So are you opening the door?
Yes.
Are you looking around? Okay. So yeah, you come up to this old mill, and the only kind of shabby wooden door in the place. Yeah, you open it once it allows me to do so. Yeah, there we go. And you see this kind of just like a little entranceway, and it is ruined. Like all the furniture is all kind of dusty and broken and torn and falling apart, really. You know, you can definitely tell that no one has been here in a very long time.
Well, Christina is going to tap her glaive and make a light.
Okay. Yeah. So your flame glaive just. So inside, roll a perception check.
I was about to reach for my dice. I'm like, wait a second.
Perception.
God, the chat is just coming up with some really good ones here now.
Yeah.
In response to Ryan's absolute missile earlier. 14.
You know, I'm going to add the bless.
Okay.
Of course, it's one.
Every little helps. We've piles more, says Half Elf on the shelf. Oh my god.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, with a 15, Christina, you poke your head around and you can see that this mill, the wooden kind of turn pole for the turning of the mill up the top of the mechanism is still just ever so slowly just rotating, turning on behalf of the slight breeze that's turning the windmill on the exterior of this place. Looking around, you can see that the kind of stacking shelves, the warehouse kind of shelves, all the boxes on there are completely ruined, destroyed, kind of taken over by nature, or have become the new home to, you know, some spiders, rats, mice, things of that nature. And then you start to hear sobbing, you know. It's very faint at first, you know, you just hear, why? And someone just, it stops as you just cross the threshold of the door. It stops for a moment. And then the sobbing kind of turns to a kind of it's still a cry, but there's angst. There's a bit of hate behind it. You stay away. And a ghost appears. I'm going to need you to roll initiative, Christina. And so will this creature.
Nope. Did I roll it too fast? Whoops.
What did you roll? I can add you.
11.16.
11.16. Let's add you in there. And boom. Oh. This is a banshee, and we all know what a banshee likes to do first and foremost. I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Looks like you might not have a ghost of a chance.
Woohoo! Oof.
Tune in next time for the new character.
For the character creation process.
So this banshee turns to you, Christina, hands stretched out, and just lets out a ear-piercing screech. And if you could see behind your mask, it's almost as if your face just wrinkles and writhes, and your hair starts to turn white for the most part as you drop to the ground. I'm going to need you to make a death save for your first initiative roll.
Fun. How do I do that?
It should be on your character sheet. You are down to oh dear lord. Oh dear me.
Fun.
Oh dear. Yeah, so for its turn, I mean, it's just going to float above the air above you. And it's going to just look at you as the life drains from your eyes, Christina. Give us a little insight as to what life is like flashing before your eyes.
Well, Christina is going to think of her brother, the times they spent together, and just them sitting near the swamp watching the fireflies.
All this is happening as you're just laying on the floor. Your eyes just weakening, growing heavier and heavier, blurring in and out of vision. Can I get you to make another death save? Oh!
Hey!
The very thought of your brother comes to mind. And it's almost as if, you're seeing black, everything is fading. And the picture, the face of your brother just comes into your mind. And your eyes just widen. You're just like, you find the strength in yourself to just grab your glaive that has just fallen to the ground next to you. You help yourself up to a knee, and you look up at the...
Why is my heart beating so fast?
You look up, because it wasn't a second ago.
Thanks for the raid, D8 Dungeon.
Welcome aboard, guys.
Hey,
Just in time to witness our druid come back to life here. Or just cheat death, more so. You're down on one knee, supporting yourself on your glaive, looking up at this banshee who just tried to steal your life. It's gonna go next. It's gonna, seeing you get up, it's gonna try and hit you. $23.
Oh!
You're going down again. Going down again. I won't even bother rolling damage. You were on 1 hit point. Can I get another death save from you? What did I phrase wrong?
Going down, I think that's what's...
Yes.
Someone latched onto there.
Yeah, you're good.
Nice.
Second player marks kill this week.
And,
If I have an action, because that would...
pardon? Sorry?
I was going to say, if I do I still have an action or no?
No.
Okay.
This thing is not going to act. It's still going to, after it saw you go down again, it's just going to, look over your body as you fall again. This time, weeping behind a menacing kind of, the teeth baring. Not in a smile, not in a grimace, just, I don't know, it's a horrifying sight. It's just looking down at you with malicious intent. Can I get another death save from you?
Man, this is tense.
I know. Oh man.
All just to do is make death saves for the next 8 hours till sunrise.
Well, if anyone was paying attention, Christina did turn on her glaive before entering it, which is a bright-ass light.
Very true.
Yeah, but we can't make it in time. Like this is happening in like 30 seconds.
Oh, are you like? Do you mean to signal to others?
Well,
Or,
I
like, to
imagine
maybe
there'd be
put the
guards
banshee
on watch or
on-
something.
Unless
Put the
it's
banshee at disadvantage.
unless it's emitting sunlight. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
it's
so.
not. It's not sunlight.
I
then,
mean,
it's not.
it's very bright light.
Yeah,
that's
well, I don't think it's...
That's not going to affect it in any way. Yeah, let's get another death save from you, my friend. 1 success, 1 fail. All right. Again, this banshee isn't going to act. Can I get one more save? Well, hopefully a couple more. But what's going through Christina's mind this time?
Thinking back to her family. Thinking about the flowers that she's sending, what she's been doing for the past few years. Sending the flowers to her brother's grave and to the family.
Okay. Let's get that last save from you. He's
It's-
into your mind.
you know. Oh shit.
Oh.
No.
And the last time, the thought of your brother, that face before you, gave you the strength to get up. And it just, this time wasn't enough. The last thing you see is just that grisly, razor-sharp teeth behind weeping eyes as everything fades to black. And that is it. Somewhere down in the tavern, Garganth hears the weeping once more.
Somewhere down the tavern, Shadar goes, "Do you hear that? It sounds beautiful." If
Oh,
is that it, or can we go to bed?
the bees.
When?
Bees.
Her bees.
The bees are nature spirits, and as soon as Christina left this world, as did the bees, they just fluttered and just evaporated into just specks of yellow light.
So how far? So
Oh,
when
it's-
did this happen? It wouldn't have been.
It wasn't far. Like, I mean, she didn't have far to go. It's like 20 minutes from the tavern.
Yeah, no, there's no way I would.
we wouldn't hear it. No.
No.
The only person who knew was the tavern keeper.
Well,
Yeah.
he told you what was going on there. He never knew you were going to go. You went up to your room, transformed into a raven, flew out.
Raven lunatic.
Oh,
But,
fuck. That banshee just rolled incredibly well.
That banshee was not messing around.
No, they don't. They generally don't.
Yeah,
Um,
true enough.
Shadar's just going to go to bed. And if I can just run through something with it, that'll be great. And then. Or we
Everything's
can
just
end
sat at the bar,
it- We can end it here if you
sharpening the
want.
sword.
No. I've run it by Christian. We can go on for a little bit. So,
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
free.
I'll have to bid my due.
So yeah, Shadar will go up to his room. He'll take off his black, I think it's elven chain he's wearing. Let's double check. Yeah, it's elven chain. He'll take it off and he'll kind of strip to his own undergarments and he'll get to the wash bowl. He'll clean himself down and then he'll take off his holy symbol, which is a bleached a bleached raven skull and he'll put it in the mirror and he'll sit down. He'll take the mirror off the wall, put it ground level, and he'll get on his knees and he'll just close his hands and bow his head in prayer. And he'll pray like that for about half an hour, and then when he's sort of in the zone, he will tears will run down his eyes. He'll begin talking to his mother, Serena. Let's see.
I'm sorry, Mother. I was only 8. I swear, though, if I see you again, I will annihilate the shell they have trapped you in and grant you your release. If you are truly dead, give me a sign, please. Give me a sign. Entreat the Raven Queen to tell me so. If you are still a tortured abomination, I will find you. Grant you your release.
Drink the rest of the wine bottle. Fuck it against the wall.
Ah!
He'll take his holy symbol and put it back on, and he'll put the mirror back in the wall, and he'll fall into bed drunk as a skunk.
Okay. Yeah, you fall asleep, and you dream. You dream that night.
Because he didn't take his tincture.
He didn't. He's gonna dream that night, and Shadar, you find yourself in this dream. You find yourself standing in the center of a large and kind of oval-shaped foyer. It looks to be like the reception area of a very large dwelling. The walls.
Is it familiar?
It is a little bit. The walls are painted with a kind of like a brilliant white and golden floral pattern reaching from floor to ceiling. And the floor itself is pristine white marble, so clear you can actually see every detail in the room you stand in the reflection on the floor. You get the sense that you've been here before, like you've stood in this very room at some point, but it eludes you right now. The oil paintings, taller than yourself, hang proudly on the walls, almost reaching as high as the candle chandelier swinging gently above your head. Before you, you see a mahogany banistered staircase curving up along a wall onto a second floor. You begin to take a step forward when you hear a sweet humming coming from upstairs. Again, there's familiarity to the melody. May have been a lullaby. You might have heard it as a child, maybe. The voice of the humming reveals itself as it appears from upstairs, grazing the banister gently. A tall, golden, blonde-haired elf begins to make her way downstairs, looking at you all the while as she hums with a warm and gentle, smiling expression. Her light blue dress kind of drapes from her décolletage all the way down to her feet. It almost looks as though she's gliding down the steps.
Is this sinister or is it comforting?
Yeah, kind of comforting, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Still humming, she reaches out at you, inviting you up to meet her. Powerless to control your own movements, you start moving forward, stepping on each red carpeted stair one step at a time. Meeting halfway on the staircase, the woman looks down at you, smiling at you in a maternal kind of way that invokes memories of your mother that you just prayed to.
Is
for
it?
a moment. She can't tell just yet.
Okay.
She reaches out and grazes your cheek with a warm hand. She whispers, "Oh, Shadar, you're filled with such sorrow. The injustice you've endured your entire life. It can do naught but fill you with sadness, grief, and anger." Again, she strokes your cheek and looks at you with sympathetic eyes. And now, looking at her face, it's not your mother. And she says, "Your anguish is so unfair. It's so tormenting." The room seems to shake for a second. You look away from the woman and to the walls. The paint is cracking and peeling, revealing rotten wooden panels on the walls. The floor in the foyer is splitting and breaking, and the colour changes to a dull grey. The oil paintings fall to the ground and crumble to piles of debris. The staircase itself begins to warp and tear. The woman's hand on your cheek turns cold as she grabs your jaw and forces your face back to look at her. She has become withered and old. Her blonde hair is now a ghostly white. Her eyes are black voids in her wrinkled grey face, and her blue dress is torn and tattered. She's become semi-transparent now. You remember the familiarity of this place. You've been here before, and you recognize it in its destructed state. You've met this woman before, too. Her icy cold hand grips you by the neck and it tightens. You gasp for air, but your windpipe has been seized. She speaks to you once more in a shrill and cackly voice. Your anguish is so unfair, so tormenting. It's so delicious. You feel the life drain from your body. Your vision blurs first, but then darkens. The last thing you see is the cruel grin on that woman's face before she is done with you and snaps your neck.
Is this Mistmore?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the snap that wakes you up, and you wake clasping your throat. You fall out of your bed, sweating, as you come to your senses. You hear something outside your window, like a cackle. And sleep eludes you for the rest of the night.
Does he scream or anything?
Does he?
He would, yeah. Ah!
Do I notice?
Sure. Yeah, you're all kind of next door to one another.
Great. Yeah, Mina will definitely, after a good 30 seconds, maybe just kind of knock on the door.
What?
Are you okay? You kind
Yes.
of...
No, I don't know. Yes, I suppose. We're not being attacked.
I didn't ask if we were being attacked. I asked if you were okay.
No. Just a dream.
Do you want
Yes.
company? Just to
A
talk.
dream. No. No. No.
Okay. If you need water or anything, just...
I have mine. It will be enough. My God.
He rubs the neck. He goes to the mirror and pulls a scarf off. Just looks to see if there's any. Is the wound the same or is it different?
It's the same, but you get that kind of feeling you did when you first acquired that bruise. That your vocal cords seem more strained than normal this evening. It's tender to the touch. You touch it, and it's like a fresh bruise.
Yeah, almost from instinct, he'll make the tincture that he should have made before he went to bed, as if this is going to do something to keep the nightmare he's already had at bay, and he'll mix it up and he'll just before the leaves are even ground and before it's like it's even a proper liquid. He's almost like eating a thick soup than drinking a properly ground down liquid. He just needs to get it into him. It's a comfort thing at this stage, and he just opens the window, takes a deep breath, and just begins to just weep.
I was gonna say Mina would give it a minute, and then if she didn't hear anything, she would go. But
You would hear like racking sobs of grief.
Yeah, Mina's probably gonna try the doorknob.
It's locked.
Yeah, she'll probably call out to Shadar again and say, Hey, Shadar, let me in.
Why?
Because you're clearly in pain.
I'll be fine. Get your sleep, you'll need it.
Yeah, Mina's just kind of gonna think back some personal stuff, people in pain that she couldn't help. But short of picking the lock, which she doesn't think is a good idea, she can't really do anything here.
Yeah.
So she's gonna go back to her room.
Okay. Shadar, you spend the next while just kind of reeling.
Yeah, he's
Your
not
mind.
sleeping tonight.
Yeah, he's not sleeping tonight. He's
Even if he
rattled,
if he could, he wouldn't. He doesn't want to go back there. So I take it that's a point of exhaustion.
It will be come morning.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
I'll take that.
Oh,
And
I didn't go back there.
I think on that note, we will finish it for this evening.
yeah. Let's please stop there. No more one-on-ones. They're not ending
Yeah, this is-
very
that
well.
wasn't.
Oh my
Classic.
gosh.
Yeah.
My pulse is just going everywhere.
I thought
can't
that
even.
was. I thought that was
That was amazing.
the city. The city he grew up in, but no. I'd say, yeah. I thought that was the city, but it wasn't. It was the other thing. Ooh, was intense.
I'll
Awesome,
say-
Mark. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, Mark. Hats off to you. Never fucking do that again. But like, great. That was
That was
fun.
awesome, man. Thank you.
Can you do half-hour-long clips?
Yeah,
Hmm.
just the whole episode. Just
Poor Shadar.
Yeah. Poor
Oh,
Christina.
I tried.
Jesus.
I tried.
Yeah.
Poor everyone. Like,
Well, I mean, as far as Shadar's concerned, Christina's in a better place.
well, as far as,
Alfred's had a
As
pretty
far
good
as everyone
day.
else is concerned, Christina's in a
Alfred's had
room.
a pretty good day.
He's hung out, read some books.
I like the part with the murder. Yeah, okay, Garrett. Oh, man.
Floodland.
Well, being realistic, or Alfric is just chilling in his room. Sir Tyrion's sitting at the bar drinking whiskey, sharpening his blade. And Shadar's had a nightmare that they aren't aware of. Mina knows something's up, and Christine's asleep.
Yeah, I mean, Mina took her walk. Came back, heard Shadar having his little thing. But as far as she's just kind of camping out, thinking
Miss
about a horse.
Jawbreaker. Miss Jawbreaker says, "I'm just waiting for Mina and Shadar to kiss."
He said never, never. He said never, never. I don't know about that.
Never.
Well,
See?
life is short. Do what you
Yeah,
gotta
I
do.
think we've all learned that.
Hopefully.
today.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Fucking
Hopefully.
It is when you're in a Mark campaign.
I will add that I have never had a player death in a campaign, but twice in 1 week. That's the second time that's happened this week.
No way.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, like,
It's like buses. You wait ages, then two come along.
yeah. I mean, look, if
Thankfully, though,
you're
in the
going to go off
first
and
step,
fight
we
a-
were there to assist.
Yeah, I feel like we all would have gone, but
yeah.
yeah. Woo, woo. Yeah, I don't think we have access as a party to anything that could reverse that.
Well, we'll find out in
Believe
2
that we
weeks.
do.